A terrorist.
What a great cold opening that was. There's the words a terrorist after a solid 2 seconds of silence.
I'm not giving context. Context for that.
I'm not giving contacts? Well, I don't use contacts, buddy.
What are you on, like, Discord or something, huh?
Oh, God.
You got friends?
No.
Hey, Kodian, mind telling me what you're doing in that Discord server?
He would never finish that.
Anyway.
Oh, man.
Welcome back to Korner K3 episode. If you don't include the one shot, this is episode 3, 4? One of those two. It's been a while though since the last one, so my memory is a bit wacky. So I'm gonna go through and read my notes. Last time.
Hey Kodian, who's that? Hey Flavius, who's that cool Cairo guy in the voice chat?
Obviously, someone here has not taken the schizophrenic pills. Who said Cairo was cool?
Wow. Throwing shade across settings already.
Throwing shade across universes. I feel so loved.
Look, you know them. Secretly, that's her name.
Yeah, bro, it's my real name.
What? I was talking about Nox.
Oh. LMAO.
It's a good Saturday.
It's not.
It is.
It is for me.
No, next Saturday is the real good Saturday. We all know that.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's when my package comes.
Yes, your bomb.
How'd you know Cairo was in town? Anywho, yes, please do a recap.
This is what happens when I try to write an essay at the same time that I DM.
Maybe you should tell the essay to, fuck off while we're doing our session.
I solemnly and irrevocably refuse.
What if, here, I have an idea. What if you make the essay a playable character, and this whole session is just unlocking the backstory of your essay character by writing the essay?
Bro, cosmic horror, but
around.
it's just the concept of essays that's come to haunt you in your dreams. Like Freddy Krueger, but paper cuts.
Cosmic Horror Campaign, except we helped Dakota finish his essay.
If only this was
Every
happening
time
like
you look back,
in my previous semesters for my creative writing class, because I actually wrote cosmic horror. I've written a cosmic horror poem and a cosmic horror story for different assignments in my creative writing classes. So, that would have applied if only this were a year ago. Anyway, so last time I believe you guys cut the artifacts and the Neanderthals out of the ice. And then you brought them back to the base. Some wacky stuff kind of happened. You guys got back to the base. You guys took a nap. You guys woke up, and then the base's leader, Doctor. You guys also examined the bodies and stuff, and they were pretty old. That they are deceased, but nobody knows quite how they got in the ice in the first place. And the dagger made of obsidian and whalebone, also very old. Headdress is also pretty ornate, but very old. None of it tracks back to any known language or civilization that we know about. And then you guys took a nap and you woke up, and Dr. Knight sent a different crew off to go and investigate and go and cut out the murals from the temple area you guys had seen. And then you guys that happened while you guys were investigating. She woke up. You were all woken up. Well, yes, Kyle was woken up by Dr. Knight, the base's commanding officer, as he had demanded that the sergeant help fetch a suspect in the theft of the dagger artifact that had happened overnight. And Knight seemed pretty adamant that he knows who did it. So he locked the dude in one of the sword silos out of the main compound, and he said that they're gonna keep him locked up in there until the icebreaker ship arrives, where they'll put him on board the boat and then they'll ship him back off to Argentina for trial. And last time we ended off early in the morning, where good old Dr. Werder, no, it's not. That's John. Heinrich had once again, for like the 8th time in game, to repair the medical android that was supposed to be helping the medical staff. And after some preliminary checks, he decided he needed to turn the robot off in order to get a better look at its internals. And when he tried to do so, the robot told him that he couldn't allow the engineer to work on him or turn him off. And then combat started. So I rolled initiative for the robot last session, and I still have that here. Got a 13 in total. So, Mr. Hoffman, if you don't mind, rolling initiative.
Alright, boys, get ready to lose your first party member. Oh, never mind, I got an 8.
An 8, you say? Alright, so that means you have a 13. Okay. Whose initiative is higher? That's the thing. I think the robot's is higher.
I only have 5 agility.
Oh, the robot beats you by 1. So yes, medical androids go first. It's already in melee with you because you were just working on it. So the medical android, it grabs your arm and stuff as it's like, I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that. And then his I guess it'd be like his left hand has like a big needle on it. It kind of like twirls around and Autobots transforms, and a scalpel pops out of the tube that makes up its arms, and the robot is going to try to with its bring the scalpel out, and then it's going to try to grapple you first. So I need you, Mr. Hoffman, to make me. This will be in a 1d10 and add your agility, so 1d10 plus 5, and then I will roll 1d10 plus the robot's strength, and see
Yikes.
who wins. The robot rolled a 7, so you had a 14 in total.
Oh, then I lose.
Wow. Alright, cool. So the robot, it grabbed your wrist, but you kind of pulled out of it at first, and then it grips you by the chest, basically, by your shirt, and it lifts you up into the air, and it kind of brings its scalpel arm out towards you, and this very friendly, cheery, automated voice, the robot says, "Performing tracheotomy," and he slices your throat open with the scalpel. This does 3d100 damage.
Nice. Nice.
Yep. That's enough to kill you. That is a solid 160 damage, and you have 150 health. So, wow, I really rolled only barely enough to kill you, huh? So this robot, he grabs Heinrich by the face, by the neck, and he it's kind of like he stabs the scalpel right dead into where your windpipe is, and then he just kind of like digs it a bit too far in, and then he swipes his arm out and just like cuts your neck in half, basically, and blood like a pressure washer just blasts everywhere. The doctor woman who was there watching you and stuff, She screams. She freaks out, and she books it out of the medical area as Hoffman begins bleeding out profusely on the ground. You're still technically alive, I guess, but you've got like a solid 30 seconds before you die. So there is that.
Mercy roll, mercy roll.
Huh?
I was saying mercy roll. 60 seconds. He can do it. You know.
I mean, that was the whole robot's whole turn technically, so we can't actually react to anything. So I'll say, yeah, sure. I'll give in this case because Javier does have like the time to help himself. I'll give you a mercy roll to see if you are able to save yourself.
That's a d20, correct?
It is indeed.
Yeah, no.
All right, I assume that would be a 10 or lower then on the die. So no, you
4.
were 4. Oh yeah, you are too much in shock basically from the pain and the sudden blood loss. You're just kind of like writhing on the ground there. Your eyes are wide and you're freaking out. But I will give the other two of you a perception check to see if you can hear the woman's screams as she runs out of the medical area.
Sure, I'll roll. Let's roll. That's a 9.
A 9. Okay, yeah. So you definitely do hear the doctor's scream coming from the medical area. You, if I remember correctly, you were in the security room. Were you the guy watching the cameras still, or were you not doing that anymore? I honestly don't remember.
Would I still be in the silo, actually?
No, I'm pretty sure this is a bit after that because you were woken up like hours earlier than anybody else was to go and help with that. So,
And I suppose I shall.
okay, so yeah, you hear this woman scream, and she's calling for help and stuff like that down the hallway. How do you react?
I'm sure I'm in the security room, yes?
Sure.
Sure, yeah, why not? I'd probably figure out where she is, have my gun on me, my handgun, and go to intercept her. Try to see what the hell, where she's running from. I mean, I'm assuming she's wearing a very obvious nurse uniform, yes?
Yeah, I mean, you know who she is. She's the head doctor in the medical area. She's got a lab coat. It's covered in blood at this point from like her, like stomach down and stuff from where Hoffman's arterial spray got her. But she's screaming and stuff, and she's yelling, and she sees you, and she runs up, runs towards you, and she's pointing behind herself back towards the medical area, and she's like, "Oh my God!" The robot went crazy. The robot, stabbed, stabbed the engineer, and she's freaking out, barely coherent, but you do get the words like, "Robot went crazy, stabbed a guy."
Okay. Then, yeah, I'll go investigate. I'll be like, oh, I'll probably call in our the head scientist.
You're gonna call for Dr. Knight?
Yeah, I'll be like, we got a situation. I'm going to it, and then gonna go to the robot, shoot him up.
Okay, so do you tell Knight where the incident is supposed to be occurring, or do you not provide that
Yeah.
information? Okay, then he will also start making his way over there. So you get probably like halfway down the corridor between the security room and the medical facility, because they are close together, you know, in case the gunfight breaks out. You want to be close to the medical facilities. When you see the medical android, the Martinez Biological Containment Inc. Branded medical android, walk out from the medical room, covered in blood, and it just starts like it sees you and it starts walking towards you.
Yeah, I don't really think at this point I'd even consider saying anything. I'd just straight up shoot it.
Would you like me to make my check now?
Sure.
All right. That is a 7.
So yes, you also would have heard the woman scream from you where you were, wherever you decided to be. So Kyle, if you wanted to shoot at it,
Yes.
how many times? Actually,
many
first of all,
times can I
initiative.
shoot? Yes, let me do that.
Yeah, because that comes first.
Okay. That is not. There we go. I almost got a bug in my mouth. I got 9.
Got a 9. All right, 9 plus 0 agility, a 5 or a 6.
I think I have average agility.
Average, that's 4. Okay. So the 9 to the 13. Wow, 3 13s on initiative. Okay. Well, the robot beats you because its agility is just higher than yours. But I will say it couldn't. Actually, it's only a 6. You need 30 feet. I will say that you get a surprise round off on it because, like, it's faster than you, but it isn't intelligent enough necessarily to be able to like automatically start like dead sprinting towards you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So you do get a surprise round. So how many times do you wish to fire at it?
How many shots can I shoot? An apparent Glock 33
Twice.
per action.
Yes.
All right, then twice I will shoot.
Unless panic dumping.
D.
I don't think I'm in a panic mode right now, so I will shoot twice. Each action. So what is that?
4 times. So that would also be
8
4
rolls.
times. No, not at advantage.
That's just a -1.
Yeah.
Okay. A 5, that's with the minus. A 6, that's with the minus. 7, that's with the minus, and another 5, that's with the minus.
2 5s, 6 and a 7. 6 and a 7 do definitely hit. The 2 5s both match because your perception is perfectly average. I'll make 1 pass and 1 fail just to be fair. So you hit 3 times against the medical android.
Is that 60, 100?
Yes. And I need to get the medical android.
350.
350. All right. I need to roll armor checks. That's 4 armor checks. So let me get 4d10. Definitely failed a couple of those. It failed 3 of those, and it passed 1. So it takes 250 damage. It's technically, I guess, bloodied. It's at perfectly half health. So, so you run up and you see this thing come out of the door, and you take the initiative and you bang, 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 bang. You do miss once, and one of the bullets smacks into the wall behind it, with 3 more to collide with his body. It is a tough mamma jamma though, being a robot. In terms of how long it will take for Xavier to bleed out, I will say that all of that, the hearing the scream, the running and the moving and the shooting, would have been like 1 round, so 6 seconds. So you've got like 4 more combat turns before Xavier is no longer conscious and dies. Well, he's still unconscious already, but he
Fuck.
dies.
Do
Can I
I-
start making my way at this point?
You can roll initiative, yeah.
Do I
Alright,
know
sickness.
that he's bleeding out, or do I presume he's dead?
That could be up to you, but you figure that, I mean, you're told that somebody was stabbed. You don't know exactly who. And the amount of blood on the doctor and on the robot tells you that the stabbing was severe. So if they're not dead already, they're certainly dying.
I got
Okay.
an 8 on the roll. Set of 4.
Alrighty, so let's say that's an 11 in total then. And I will also roll for Dr. Knight now as well. I might as well. Knight got he got a 1 on the dice.
Oof.
So he got
Way to
1
go,
on the
Knight.
dice. So he's at a 6 in total. So I assume, Dr. Fuhrer, you want to begin making your way towards the scream and the gunshots now that you hear the 4 gunshots that go off.
Yes, indeed, I would like to make my way over that way. How'd you know?
Alrighty, you do so. So you can do that. You spend your whole turn moving. I'll say that you could get there probably like 2 turns from now. So 1 more turn of running and then the next one to be there. Knight will get there next turn. This turn over, and then it means it's the robot's turn. The robot will spend his combat turn, well, his first action anyway, walking towards the sergeant. It would get into melee with you with its first action of movement, because it moves 30 feet per action. Its second action will be it's just gonna try to stab you with his scalpel. It's a scalpel counts as a dagger. So he can stab 3 times because half his agility stat.
God.
So
I
give
only
me
dodged once.
yes, unless it says you have peak human reflexes or whatever, which I don't think you do.
Does
You
an
shouldn't.
agent and can make dodge checks to avoid melee attacks. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so you can dodge 1 of them if you want with an agility check.
I only have 1 reaction.
Yes.
Then yeah. And only if I had. That's not the number. Okay. A 7.
A 7. All right, that passes. So you do dodge the first swipe, but the next 2 are, unfortunately, the robot is simply too fast.
Yes.
So he does 1d8 times 10 with his bare hands, plus 1d6 times 10. So it's 2d8 plus 2d6.
I'm assuming armored vest does not work the same since it's not a stab-proof vest.
You do count as having melee armor.
Ah.
So that,
Okay.
you know, it doesn't matter, like, if the armor provides it, it doesn't matter if, like, you know,
It's just
it
like
would,
it
just
will
counts.
factor
It's an
1.
overall armor factor.
Yeah.
So I need more the damage for that. I need more d8s. 2d8s. And 2d6s. So in total, I rolled really poorly. You would take 90 damage, so I need 2 armor checks from you because it's 2 different attacks.
I'll probably fail both, but let's see. Yeah, that's a fail. It is a fail.
For both of them?
Yeah, 7 doesn't. I'd have to get what, like a 9 or a 10, right?
Yes. Well, an 8 or 9 or a 10, I think, right? Yeah, 8, 9, or 10.
I think A would match. Yeah.
So you take 90 damage.
Ouch.
So you're down to 60. You're not quite dead yet, but you have, has this robot comes at you, and he stabs you across the face, and he stabs you in the, slices you across your chest with this scalpel. that is the robot's turn. Then it would be Heinrich's turn. You keep bleeding. Uh,
You know me, just bleeding as I do.
yeah.
As you do.
It is your turn, Sergeant.
Wait, whose turn?
Yours.
Yours.
Oh shit! I thought it was someone else going. I like rolled, was replaying the conversation. Yeah, I just shoot him again. But
Okay,
does
you're
this
in
robot-
melee. So it's an
Okay.
auto hit.
Well, it is a robot.
Mike,
Yeah, but
no,
it's not that fast.
Melee would not be a good option here.
okay, yes, that's very true. But also, my next question is, can I have a called shot in melee?
You can, but you gotta roll for it.
Yeah, I'll still have that.
Okay.
What's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a word. I'm failing. Head. There we go. Does it even have a remarkable head?
It does. The art thing, if you scroll up a little ways up there, it does technically have a head. You don't know if it like
Can function or not.
or if
I would-
shooting it would do the same thing as it would do to a human.
I would go for center mass. Personally.
I'm trying to think of how I would know where to shoot for a called shot. Would I have ever talked to the engineer about it?
A good question.
Be like, oh, where's this thing's power from or something? I don't know. Would we all know that?
Know what?
Like, where its power is?
Well, I guess Mr. Hoffman would certainly know that. As for you guys know that, I don't know. Probably not.
Hoffman, quick! How do I take this thing out?
Quickly from your yeah. I was
Asterisk
gonna
gurgles
say
asterisk.
that. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Okay. I don't know. I'll do like 2 to the head, and yeah, I'll take John's advice and probably body shot it, because why not? I don't. I need to find the image. Where would it be?
It should be in. Unless I got rid of it. Let me look.
Just tell me what channel it is, because I could probably like.
It should be in Quest for the Core chat. Up quite a ways at this point. Assuming it's still there, it might not even be there.
Nah, I could probably find it.
No, I don't think it is. I might have deleted it. I think I might have put it in like game planning by accident, or something like that, and they deleted it. I can add it back in if you guys want.
Wait, I can definitely find this. I'm pretty sure. I think.
Well, you're gonna just shoot it 4 times, right?
Yeah, but call shotting it 2, and then probably 2 in the stomach. Yeah, sure. 2 to the head, 2 to the stomach. So what is that now? Disadvantage?
Well, if it's just a called shot, then it would just be for the head. It would just be like normal perception checks at a -1 because you're firing multiple times.
Okay, so I got 2 6s, an 8, and a 9.
Okay, those with -1 or at the -1.
With
Okay, then yeah, they all pass. So that's 8d100 damage.
I got 430.
The robot is very dead, so not gonna bother finding the art for it. So you just this guy walks up in the melee and he cuts you pretty bad, and you grunt through the pain and you just shoot it 4 times in the chest, and it after shooting it like the previous 3 times and then the next 3 times, you destroy enough of its chest plate to where you can see its power source, like battery, and the final shot you fire just punctures right through the battery, out the robot's back, and the battery acid spills everywhere, and the coolant sprays everywhere, and the robot clang clongs and collapses to the ground.
I think with that, I will rush to investigate the room and tell the nurse to come with me. I don't know, maybe she was probably running to get away from the robot, but as far as I know, she has more medical experience than I do.
Do I arrive?
Not in this moment. You want to go and investigate the medical lab. All right, you go in the medical lab. Hoffman is on the ground, writhing, bleeding ludicrous amounts at this point. It's kind of unrealistic, honestly. He's still conscious. At this point, he'd be like half dead, more or less. He's got like 20 seconds left, 30 seconds left.
He got stabbed where the throat?
Yeah.
Well, I would assume I have at least basic knowledge of medical stuff.
Yes, you have field medicine, yeah.
Okay, then enough. Would it be enough for me to at least keep him from bleeding out? Yeah, keep him from bleeding out. Like a right then and there. I don't know where all the supplies are. So I'm just going to try to address it right now while the nurse and whoever comes looks for better supplies, yeah?
Well, you would know where, like, the gauze and stuff is. You know how that works. I need to find the healing section.
Let it be known, you cannot apply a tourniquet to a neck.
What do you mean, bro? Just choke him out.
Your best thumb would be sticking your thumb in the wound.
So, well, they do have, like, you know how they used to have to use, like, tampons and stuff to clog bullet wounds? They just have that kind of stuff. So, I need you, if you're going to make me a medical check, I need you, Kyle,
Yes.
to roll me 1d10 plus your intelligence stat plus 2. Actually, no, plus 3. I'm wrong.
So I need to find my sheet real quick. Int, you said?
Yeah.
And a plus 3?
Yes.
17.
Dang. All right. That would be considered like pretty good. So you do, and in case you're wondering what that was for, so that I doubt you guys have read like the complicated rules for K3's healing system. Healing abides by different qualities in K3, because infection is the problem in K3. So there are different, depending on what you use to heal someone, you get bonuses or negatives to the medical check, that being the 1d10 plus your intelligence plus whatever the additional number is, and the supplies in this medical facility, because you don't know where all the good stuff is, but you know enough of it to fix him. It's considered good quality, so you get a plus 3. And now, so Xavier is stable. Now, Xavier, I want you to roll me percentile dice, and for the love of God, do not get a 1 through 9. Just don't.
You get anything above
I'm
a 10.
gonna do it. You can't stop me.
I swear to God.
All right, that is a 93.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I mean, you got almost the exact opposite of what you you needed to. So yes, you do not get an infection. You get the opposite of an infection.
A super infection.
And you die.
Super tetanus?
Yeah, you actually you get like cosmic horror tetanus. Yeah.
Oh god.
So you don't get an infection from the wound, which
Got the West Nile virus.
So you are barely conscious because you've lost like 2 liters of blood, but you are alive. Combat is, of course, over. At this point, Dr. Knight and the other one, Fur, they both show up
Ah,
to the medical facility.
thanks. Good to know I'm just the other one. All right, yeah. Let's take a gander. What the hell happened here?
Oh, he just slipped on some strawberry jam. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
Oh,
his
that's-
neck is wrapped up in
sucks.
gauze and like stuffed with all kinds of like weird like foam to like quick clot the wounds and all this stuff.
Yep.
So what happened?
Yeah, that was my answer to tell you. I theoretically do not know, but I believe the bot outside, the medical bot that you saw shot up, stabbed our engineer over here.
Not fun. Not a fun time. Can I try
No.
to assist with medical?
I mean that's mostly been handled at this point, so there isn't
If
anything
anything,
else you guys can do short of letting like the actual doctor look at him and stuff like that.
yeah, I was gonna say
Okay.
ask the nurse for like a full rundown. Apparently, she was there.
I guess so. Yeah. I'll ask the nurse.
Okay, yeah. So Dr. Knight gets the nurse back and stuff, and they help Hoffman into a bed, and they. Okay, this could turn out very interesting now that Hoffman is incapacitated. Anyway, um, yeah. So they just get the nurse back, the doctor, and she just come back, and she's like, "Oh my God, Hoffman should literally be deceased. The fact that he is still alive is divine intervention." And then she begins tending to him, essentially. Putting him on the bed and everything like that, making sure that he's comfortable, barely conscious, but alive and likely not to die soon, I guess. And she gets the IV
Yeah.
drip into him and shoots you full of morphine and stuff like that. So you're having a good time now.
Oh God.
Man, all I had to do to get out of this was be stabbed in the throat and almost perish. Worth.
Yeah, bro, literally get tracheotomy.
Word.
So that happens. In case you are all curious, characters heal wounds at a standard rate of 5 health per day.
Oh God. He's past 0.
Yes, and Xavier is currently at negative 10 health. So he will need many days before we can even be properly conscious and like function fully
We're
again.
talking.
Is there
months.
any way that you can actually like increase his healing?
Well,
Yeah,
he
by
needs
having
a
medical
blood
facilities
transfusion.
and stuff like that. Yes, and doing something like that, helping him recover actively with medical supplies, which you guys happen to have plenty of. So now I have to Google the average recovery rate for a stab in the neck. I'm gonna watch this for
Never.
sure. Never.
One
Just get
minute?
old Yellard. That's it.
Well,
How to recover from death.
it took Kentucky Ballistics almost like 2 months.
Yeah, but his also has like shoulder and arm and torso got like punctured too. So
No, but the neck was the one that took almost 2 months. His shoulder and neck and everything that took like around a month.
most skin wounds heal within 10 days. It's not a skin wound, Google, but thank you.
It's a severe skin wound.
Yeah, we might even call it a life-threatening wound.
Some would call it a superficial slashing.
God.
Just put a flesh wound.
Penetrating injuries of the neck, treatment and management. Here we go.
Hi, it's Watch Mojo here.
Top 10 times someone survived a neck slashing.
I was gonna say top 10 ways to survive one or
A neck
recover.
slashing. The hash slinging slasher.
God. If this wasn't Kathy, I think it'd be a lot funnier if he got stabbed by a spatula.
Okay, so according to this, if you get stabbed in the throat, and it isn't like infected, and you don't have to get like an esophageal tear from it, basically, if you like move your neck too much after a stab wound, it could widen the hole in your neck. So if you don't do that for 24 hours, then they can release you from the hospital. So, in terms of how much health you'll recover, I'll say 50 to get you, well, 60 to get you above the threshold of having to roll for unconsciousness. At that point, you'll be admitted, like, you know, released from the hospital, if you will, the medical facility. But you'll also won't be at full health either. So,
Understandable.
let's see. All right, that happened. So that's interesting.
So that's a thing.
Yeah. Do you guys talk about what happened at all, or do you just be like, okay, he's safe, time to go back to my coffee?
I would be like, what the fuck happened?
Who are you asking?
And I don't even know at this point. Who do I go to about this?
I don't know. I'll go back on like the recording. Is there a camera in the medical room?
There would not
Medical
be a
lab?
camera in the medical room. There's a camera in the hallway, but that doesn't help you because you were there for that part.
Interrogate the nurse. Like I said, she's the one that was there.
She is the culprit all along.
It was the nurse, wasn't it? But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll talk to
Oh, also, I would suggest the sergeant also receive medical attention, you know, for the large stab wounds that are in your
I'll
chest
talk
as
to the
well.
sergeant.
Oh yeah. Let me receive that medical attention, nurse, please.
Okay,
And
so I will roll.
while you're at it, can you describe to me the events that have unfolded and have plagued our wonderful engineer over here?
Okay, so
Hey, I know you're supposed to be treating my wounds, but could you give me an apt description of what happened?
that traumatizing
Why-
incident
Yes.
that happened 20 minutes ago, yeah. So
Not
she
even.
rolled a 9 on the die, plus her intelligence of 5, 14, plus 3 is 17. So she also treats you very well, as you would expect. Gives you pain medication, bandages your torso up and stuff like that where you were cut. Gives you like stitches and stuff like that. That takes a couple of hours. And she explains to you what happened. She said, you know, the robot was acting weird. She said that it wasn't acting weird in that like its body parts were malfunctioning. It was acting weird in that it was like saying weird things and it was shuffling around and like walking in circles or like walking into walls. She figured it was just a software or like a hardware issue. So she called Hoffman. Hoffman came in, hooked the machine up to its charging port. When he went to go turn the machine off, the android assaulted him, cut his throat wide open, and then when she booked it out of there, the robot followed her, and that's when you guys saw it in the hallway and gunned it down.
Huh.
Also, are you guys gonna move the body of the robot anywhere, or?
Do we have interns that can do that?
I mean, I guess.
Get an intern to do it.
Okay, so while you guys are getting treated, an intern walks into the medical room and is like, Sergeant, we were told to move the robot body, but we figured you might wanna know this part.
I swear to God, if you're gonna say the body's not there, I'm gonna slap you.
Like, no, the body's definitely there still, but there is something weird about it. Wait, are you sure you didn't lose like a bunch of blood because the robot is bleeding?
Wait, you said
You
the
mean
robot?
like coolant?
No, like red human smelling blood.
Am I still at the medical wing?
If you wanted to be there the whole time they were getting treated, sure.
Yeah, sure. I'll be there because this is definitely some weird jank going on. Something smells jank. So I'll go and look out the door at the robot body.
Yeah, so you look at the door and you see like one of the other like engineers with like a toolbox and stuff, and his hands are covered in blood, and the wrench is covered in blood, and he's like looking at his hands, really horrified. And looks at you, and he's like, "I don't know, man." And yeah, there's a giant pool of blood where the robot is lying on the ground.
I'll walk over and to confirm that it's blood, I'll like run it through my fingers and like give it a taste.
I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna look it.
You perish
Well,
instantly.
that's how you tell. That's how you tell if something is blood or oil.
Yes. Let me lick something that may or may not have
Let me
just
just
randomly
chug this
appeared.
bottle of
It's
like
not like-
acid. Let me just.
It's not. It's not like I'm drinking it.
Bro, drink the
John
robot
has
juice.
Super tetanus too. We share.
Ace Ventura, you know?
Yeah, it is human blood, and you do see like it is leaking out of the robot, but not out of like the hole in its chest where you would expect it to be coming from. It's leaking from the robot's like joints, its eye lenses, leaking from its like arm joints and like where the like the needle is and stuff like that. Yeah, you really can't explain it.
Well, that's ominous.
Someone get stuffs in the robot or something?
FNAF.
I didn't want to say it.
I'll go back into the medical ward and I'll be like, yeah, no, they're not kidding. It is bleeding.
Huh. But yeah, no, excuse me. I did not bleed a profuse amount of blood. I bled like a normal amount of blood.
An acceptable amount of blood.
Yes, 60 health points worth of blood. Or 90? 60, whatever you want to call it.
90.
90, yeah. Huh. Cut its joints open? Maybe? I mean, I don't know what that's gonna do, but I'll be honest. I don't know what to tell you, Chief. Yeah. I got nothing.
Well, that makes two of us. Curious. I don't know what to do about this.
Like I said, just open it up. That's all I got.
All right, yeah. Let's go with that then.
Okay, you're gonna have a look in the joints.
Yeah.
Okay, give me.
Roll of perception.
Yeah, sure.
That'll be a 9.
Okay. So you kind of like you're like engineer guy, give me that wrench, and you start removing the joints, and you pull out one of the arms out of its socket, and when you do so, the blood just like waterfalls out of it, like, and it just keeps coming, and you do not know what is causing it.
It's all mechanical parts, right?
Yeah, from what you can see, it's all like ball joints and electrical wiring, but there is just blood oozing out of the joint.
Uh-huh. Interesting. I have no words. I don't know what to do.
You don't do anything. You can't do anything.
That's pretty much how it feels. Yeah.
Man, only if our head engineer was alive right now.
Still alive.
Maybe he. I mean,
Still
conscious,
alive.
not alive, conscious.
He's effectively dead.
No, he's not. He's pretty cool.
I mean, he can be a cool guy, but is he conscious right now?
I mean, he's high on morphine.
Exactly. Is he really conscious right now?
Yes.
Whatever
I
you
know.
say.
Yeah, I'll bring it tonight. You know, what does Knight think about this stuff?
It's a good question.
Okay, so you want to ask Knight?
Yes.
All right, so you get Cult Knight over on the radio, and he comes over, and he's like, "Huh? I mean, are you sure that like the robot didn't have like a blood bag in him, or did he like I don't know? Did he like suck Hoffman's? I don't know if his accent disappeared. Sure, he hasn't sucked Hoffman's blood out of him before he sliced his throat open, or did he have a blood bag in him, or did he I don't know consume a small pig before you shot him?"
I don't think we have any pigs in the lab room yet.
Yet, ominous.
As far as I can tell from the story of the nurse, no sucking of blood. As far as a blood bag in him, that I do not know of.
Knight's like, that's probably what it is. But just to be sure, I would throw it outside and either bury it or have the engineer disassemble it or something, and then probably clean up the blood and burn the blood.
Yeah, pretty reasonable.
Understandable. Have a great day.
Okay. Yeah, that seems fine by me.
Okay, so that is what happens then?
Yeah.
Assumably.
Okay. So that happens. Night engineers, take it out to the workshop shed and take it apart and like recycle it and toss whatever
Take
can
him
be
out
recycled.
to the back.
And yeah, and then they tell them, get the janitors in here and clean up the blood, and if they can't clean it up, burn it. Burn it all. The whole building, the whole area, the whole compound. Just burn Antarctica to water. Melt it all. All the ice gone.
No more ice.
The janitors go and they do that. Engineers take the body away. They shove it in like trash bags and stuff, and they take it away. The rest of the day goes by uneventfully. Sergeant, you were released from the medical ward after a couple of hours. They tell you not to do anything too strenuous because you might tear your skis open and stuff like that. But other than that, you should be fine with some pain medication and a couple of weeks of healing time. And then they say that Hoffman should be good to leave the hospital by the next morning, basically. They keep him monitored and stuff, and he comes in for checkups to make sure that he hasn't popped a stitch or hasn't torn his neck open more. His spine wasn't damaged, so he shouldn't have any like permanent dexterity issues or agility issues or anything like that. So
nice.
That's good. He should be relatively fine. Yeah, and like goes about his rest of his business, monitoring the station. Anything else anybody wants to do before the end of the day?
Can't say I do.
Do another patrol. Do inventory check on the weapons. Yeah, the weapon storage. Do inventory check of the regular storage. and check up on the guy who's going, I'm innocent, I'm innocent.
Okay.
Something like that. Unless Knight has that.
I mean, Knight has like the key and stuff for the padlock
No, like
on it, but
it covered.
oh,
what I mean.
oh. Well, I guess if you want to go in and check on him, then you can go in and check on him. He's not gonna stop you, but.
Sure, I'll check on him, to see if he's still breathing.
Okay, yeah, you go into the silo and stuff. He is still alive. He's still like, it's freezing in here, man. Let me go. I didn't do anything. I'm innocent. That night's gone crazy. He's a bad man.
Yeah, good, you're still alive. And then I close the door and leave.
Wow. Cold-hearted, literally.
Sick.
Hey, what can I say? I just shot a robot and saved a man from dying.
Lamel. So yeah, in that case, rest of the day goes by uneventfully. And you all take a nap. The next morning, you all go about your normal business. Hoffman is released from the hospital, although he is advised to not go too far from the compound in case something bad happens to him, and he begins bleeding profusely over everything again. It's for them to not like move his neck. They give like a neck brace and stuff to make sure he doesn't tear his head off by accident. Rather than that, he should be relatively okay to go about his work. He is at 50 health from -10, so I call that an improvement. And then, Sergeant, you are up to, I'll say 70 health. I'll say with the medical attention you get 10 health per day instead of 5. Not much, but it's a little bit more than not a lot.
It'll get you up there eventually.
Yeah. If you stay out of combat for another 8 days, back to full health, no problem.
Hey, look at that.
So you all wake up, you all clear about your daily routines. Hoffman is released, and Dr. Knight comes to you all, and he's like, "Well, after the theft the day previously, the scout team that I sent out to fetch the murals from the walls, they returned late last evening and placed the murals in the geology department. So you all can go in there, and I would like you all to see if there's anything you can find out about it, about the stonework, about the tools used to make it, what it could all mean or say or be about or pertain to, all of that stuff."
Finally, a job meant for me.
You're like, yes, finally you are put to good use.
Wow.
Besides, being the guy who watches things happen.
Wow. Okay.
He's like, yes, have a good day, and then he walks off.
All right. Yeah. I'll go and investigate the stonework and various details about the carvings.
All right, so in that case, Fuhrer, you can give me an intelligence check at a +1 for archaeology, and then for Hoffman, you can give me an intelligence check, but without a -1.
I'll also have like my personal books with me from my masters and my doctorates.
Yeah.
Because I bought them motherfuckers, and I deserve to have them. That's a 9. Non-nat 10.
Alrighty. And Mr. Hoffman, your intelligence check.
Monsieur Hoffman. He's dead. He's dead, isn't he?
He is dead. He has died a tragic death in the hospital.
J'accuse!
Hold on.
Lamau, intelligence check.
Intelligence check. Nine.
Ah, 2 9s. All right. So Hoffman, you find out that the stone is many millennia old. From the geological scans that the engineers take of it. You also figure that the actual drawings and stuff on it were inscribed via chisel and hammer probably. They aren't that precise. They're kind of messy in some areas. As for the paints and inks that were used, they appear to be just kind of like generic dyes that were made from various kinds of plants, you would assume. Nothing too fancy. Nothing like synthetic paint or like lead paint or anything's gonna be on here. And then Mr.
Oh, what do you
Furr,
mean?
your dirty 10. You cross-reference everything, and you take a look at all of it. And you in your studies, none of the writing comes up as anything directly translatable, but the images are relatively similar to a few different common styles of Mesoamerican pictographs and mural drawings. The murals that were recovered and the images of the other tapestries and stuff like that were taken. You get the interpretation that there is a degree of whatever this is probably some kind of temple. There's a lot of religious imagery in here. There's a lot of what probably are either epic myths or just generic myths that are depicted in writing and in actual images. There are a couple of words that you can translate because they are cognates of Aztec and Mayan languages, similar-ish enough to those.
Okay.
And probably the most prominent word that you get is the word for prison. The word prison is to in English. So that's there. You also find the word God a lot. That there are a lot of divinities mentioned in these murals. You would find the word for darkness a lot as well. Often in relation to the god stuff. So you get the feeling that this temple was probably dedicated to a god of darkness or shadow or something like that. And then you also, I guess, if you spend all day on it, you would find the only there are two proper names used in these works. The only one you can translate is spelt accordingly. I will type it in the chat.
Is it because you cannot pronounce it?
I can. I just don't want to
Because.
insult the Mesoamerican folks that may watch our videos. That is the name.
Okay.
I would pronounce it Chipahua, but that's just
Oh,
me.
Chipahua.
Yeah.
No, that's about right. With the letters used, yeah, that's about right. Chipahua. Well, I mean, it's certainly not Chippewa. Or anything
Yes,
to
that
that
is the-
effect. So it's Chipahua.
Yes, that is the one proper noun, the name that you can decipher. At the end of the day, you figure that out, and you're like, aha! I finally figured out the name, and it means absolutely nothing to you. You know that there
Bro, it's
aren't
like discovery.
any.
I'm gonna write a whole research paper on this.
Yeah, you've not.
Time to write an entire thesis.
You have an 80-page thesis on this. You've not heard of this god in any other Mesoamerican civilizations. You've not heard this name before, period. And he definitely seems to be this god of darkness that is referred to multiple times.
Okay.
And they kind of give him different epithets like the Greeks do. that being like godlike or what's the epithet that the Greeks use? I think like the one for Zeus is like King of Thunder or something like that. When they use for Zeus, so there's similar epithets for this guy Chihuahua, and the names that they give him,
Okay.
the epithets anyway, are always like killer of sunlight or like freezer of men or really weird ominous stuff.
Lol, we're dealing with a god?
Lamau.
Lamau?
And the murals, just kind of reading them, you get the feeling between the words you do know and the murals that accompany the words that the murals depict the history of whatever god this is, from his like creation, apparently probably what you'd figure at the beginning of the world, and then eventually it depicts him being imprisoned,
Okay.
and that's what you figure out.
So this was a god imprisoned. And he wasn't too happy about it. Is there a depiction of like a sealing ceremony?
A sealing ceremony?
Yeah, to like
Oh, I
imprison
see.
this god.
I thought you meant like roof sealing. I was very confused.
Bro, doing masonry for the god of darkness?
Bro, roofing?
Becoming a carpenter?
You're gonna be a carpenter? A sealing ceremony. There would be like a generic picture of like a bunch of priest-looking guys standing around a big obelisk, and that's probably what you would assume is the sealing ceremony. But there isn't any like description of one. Well, I mean, there is, but all the description you can find out is they sealed him away, which isn't very
How
specific.
descriptive.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
descriptive.
How to seal ancient deity? Just do it, Lamau.
yeah, exactly. You know how to do it, right? Come on, don't lie to me. You know.
So all right. Well, I know that this god was sealed away. I know that this god can freeze people. And I know that it took priests to seal away this god.
Yes.
Interesting.
You also get the
Okay.
feeling that his statues and are always either in parallel or are depicted as being actively in combat with the guy holding the woman holding the big sun. So the feeling that this is like one of the classic like, why is there night and day? It is because one god is god of dark and one god is god of sun, and they fight each other. You know.
Okay. So, my question now is, one, how do we seal away this deity? And two, where's the goddess of the sun?
Wouldn't
Because
you like to know, Weather Boy?
yeah, I would like to know. I would like to know, and I'm just happy you didn't use the term stone boy.
Stone Boy. Wouldn't you like to know, anthropologist man?
Yeah, I absolutely would love to know. Because anthropology is kind of my thing.
I mean, you could make another intelligence check at disadvantage if you wanted to like interpret the few images of the sun goddess to figure out if you could see like what happened to her or whatever,
I
you know.
would love to. That is a 7 on disadvantage.
It's a pass with the +1. So you you figure out that she appears to have been the one responsible for weakening this shadow deity enough to where the priests could seal him to begin with. And then it like the last image of her is her kind of like floating in the sky above the priests who were doing the ceremony. And that's it.
Sick. So she flew away.
Bro, she
She
combat
yeeted
log?
herself out of here. Sick and nasty. Um. Hmm. Is there a depiction of people summoning her in the beginning?
Huh?
Is there like a depiction of how they got her attention? Like
Like
them
an
summoning
offering type of deal.
her, like kinda, yeah, like them summoning her or trying to get her attention to do something about the darkness god.
So you're inquiring about how to summon the sun goddess?
Yes.
There wouldn't be any information about that on the mural anyway. It seems that she was just kind of like fighting with the shadow god, and then at some point she got the upper hand and the priest sealed him away.
Ah, I see, says the blind man to his deaf son, who's pissing in the wind, saying it's all coming back to me.
Lamau?
Alright, well, we might be on our own for this one. I don't think any sun goddess is going to come and save us anytime soon. So, I'm going to assume and go out on a limb that the obelisk and any depiction of the obelisk is going to come in handy, and that's going to be our only and safest bet. Archaeology, folks. Alright, well, I can't say that no knowledge was gained.
Lamau?
So we know we're dealing with at least a godlike figure.
It's Flavius.
Or, whatchamacallit, what's the word for it? The suggestion that it is a god. And, we might be in trouble. I don't know why this god is coming after us, but he's kind of unhappy. He's not a happy fellow. Welp. All right, I guess that's pretty much it. I'll share my findings with the rest of the group.
Are you texting it, calling it, walking up to us and be like, "Hey, yo, I found nothing."
I'll call for a meeting in the same room that I'm in right now, and I'll have you guys gather up.
Sure, let me throw our engineer on a wheelchair and wheel him over.
He's been there. He was there because he had to do the geology stuff with it.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
right. That makes sense why he rolled now. Sure, I'll not wheel myself over. I'll walk over
You'll
you.
wheelchair yourself over to
I was thinking, I was
You,
thinking
you
about
steal
doing it.
Hoffman's wheelchair and you just use it yourself.
You go to you go to the room, steal his wheelchair, and then come back in the wheelchair.
But I walk over, I'm like, cool.
Right, but the reason we saw those Russian guys frozen is because this god froze them. Never thought I'd say that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I am.
how sure?
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure. What
Okay,
I've
so if you were
what
to
I've
say
come
that
across
tonight,
here, what I've come across here is pretty much 1-to-1 ratio for what we saw with the Russian guys, those guys trapped in the ice, so on and so forth. But yeah, I would say we're in a spot of trouble. And those guys that were trapped in the ice were probably the ones that know what to do about it.
are you sure?
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Either that or the guys trapped in the ice are all gods and we're screwed. But basically, this this mural shows the depiction of gods doing the same shit that we've seen happen recently. And yeah, It's kind of worrisome. But I'm sure we can handle this.
So it's not a coincidence.
No, it is not.
And
Not
have you
at
talked?
all.
And have you talked tonight about this?
Well, I called him here, so I'd hope so.
All right. I turned to see if Knight even bothered showing up.
Hello.
I
Hey,
turned to
Knight,
him.
how you doing?
I'm like, were you just arrived or here the whole time?
I have been here the entire time.
Ah, sick
Alright.
nasty.
What
So,
do you feel about this?
yeah.
It's a cool story. It'll make for neat headlines in Europe, in the States, one of the states we got, in Europe, and in
Don't you
Canada.
Don't you even dare publicize this. This is serious.
Like, well, we need to drum up support for this expedition. You know, once the long dark hits, we need them to keep that money flowing, so we can come back next year and stuff after our 6-month stint here is done.
I would not recommend drumming up headlines about this. And whatever we're dealing with, could very well kill us. So
Like,
this
are you still worried about
at least
those
fairly serious.
those temporary hallucinations that were going on days previous?
Yeah, kinda, seeing as I just found in the mural a god that freezes people and could possibly cause hallucinations, and the only person that could defeat him is not here.
And it's like, Sergeant, are you hearing this? This man has clearly gone insane.
Are you sure about that?
You know, I was saying
Almost
the
certainly.
same
Okay,
thing.
okay, I'll frame it like this. Knight, can you read this?
Knight's like, what? No, I'm
Okay,
not an
then.
archaeologist.
Who's the one here who can read it?
Hoffman's wheelchair.
He's
Good
got
to
it.
know.
He's got a point there.
Good to know.
I look down at the
But
wheelchair
anyway.
and I'm like, you could do this the whole time and you didn't tell me?
Yes, I can, Hoffman.
Good to
That's
know.
when we all perish.
I know.
The wheelchair is Chipawa.
Yeah, bro. He's actually the god of darkness the entire time.
But anyway, yeah. Knight, if you can read this, by all means, take a gander and you try. But other than that, I think I'm the only one here who can even break apart this pre-Mesopotamic language.
Yeah, but then I look at you and be like, but you're reading it. Like,
Yes.
I
and
can read a
attempting
book. I can read a book
to
about,
translate.
I don't know, some event that may or may not have happened. It went, yeah.
Well, you know what? That's what it says. That's what the pictures depict.
Yo, wait, time
That's
out.
what I'm
Then
going with.
macaroni and cheese. They didn't even tell me. I'm having macaroni and cheese now. I had to say that.
Alright. Well, you fools can be blind to the facts. Does not bother me in the slightest. But I'm just relaying what it says. But what do I know? I'm only an archaeologist.
And Knight's like, well, yeah, it's you know, stuff like this has been found all over the world from all kinds of cultures and sources. What makes you think that this one is any different from any of the others?
Well, let's see, Knight. We only experience the direct effects of what is being depicted in the mural. We are only experiencing exactly that. Flash freezing of people and items, hallucinations, the pillars under the ground.
I mean, I don't know about you, but like, you know, in other ancient civilizations, when they did that, science seemed to, you know, have an explanation for all of them.
Yes, but I don't have an explanation for this. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
But you're an archaeologist. Are you a scientist? I think not. Case closed.
Are you a scientist?
No.
All right then. Can you explain this?
I didn't say I could explain it. I'm you know, I'm
Can Knight
putting the
explain
facts
this?
out there.
Knight, how would you explain this?
I'm
Explain
going to
what?
step in and I'm going to say to our resident archaeologist, look, man, I think we all understand what you're trying to say, but I'm not sure you get what we're trying to say. I'm sure given some time, given someone study, we can figure out the reason why this all happened, you know?
Granted, but I feel like the answer is just blaring right here. I feel like this is the answer.
Knight's like, well, it is, you see, I can explain at least the things that have happened. Since you guys all complained of hallucinations, who's to say that that temple or whatever isn't sitting on some kind of strange, like, gas that's been trapped down there under the ice for millennia, and it, you know, it's still safe to breathe, I suppose, but it's in high enough concentrations would have made you all hallucinate over time, you know? And the flash freezing, well, you said it was pretty warm in that temple, which I can't explain, but it could be just like, you know, geothermal or whatever. So, you know, it's very warm in there, so all the cold energy in the items would have dissipated into the heat, right? So when you go back up top, very quickly, that transition, if it's fast enough, I suppose, and if the difference in temperature is severe enough, it could, in theory, flash freeze objects.
Knight,
Unlikely,
we were the
but,
first
you know.
ones in there. The Russians that we found didn't even get a chance to step foot in the temple.
Oh, the Russians I can't explain. But they're Russians, so who knows?
Things have been freezing. Not us, because, you know, when we come out, okay, Knight, if we go with your flash freezing proposition, then we would have flash frozen.
He shrugs. I'm not
When
a
coming
meteorologist, so.
When coming out, we can assumably safely say that we would have flash frozen upon exit of the temple. And when you exit the temple, the warm air pretty much stops. So when we go up to the surface, why would I be in the middle of taking a picture 1 second, and then my camera is frozen the next? It would have frozen as soon as I came out of the temple.
The brand.
DSLR. My camera's a DSLR, I'll have you know. I take my pictures in 1080p.
Nice.
But seriously, can we at least entertain the idea that there is something else going on here?
So, this is when I speak out of character. Do I make my character an atheist?
It's up to you.
I mean, if you're not sure, I suppose you could always roll a die.
Flip a
Dakota,
coin.
roll a die for me.
What dice do you want me to roll?
A d20. Above a 10, not atheist. Below a 10, atheist.
Alright, I have a much better idea. I'm gonna roll a percentile die, and if I roll a 1, you're a theist, and if I roll any other number, no. Let's see. What are some religions? There's atheist. There's Islamic.
It's really between atheist and Catholicism. The only two I
Ju-
can play.
Judaism.
Paganism.
Buddhism. Yep. Paganism. Cultists of Chihuahua. You know, all these different options. Witch. How about that? Is witch an option? Sun goddess follower. That's another option.
Oh man, can you imagine rolling sun goddess follower?
So,
if you roll that,
Unrelatable.
yeah, bro. You got atheist,
can put-
Islamic, Christian, Jew, Buddhist, pagan. What would be another option? Hindu. There we go. Hindu is another option. Actually, no. Yeah, Hindu, and then was an eighth option to make
Islamic.
it nice. Already added Islamic. That's number 2.
you can put like one of the only religions that would help us in this case, and it'd be like a super low chance.
One of the weird wacky ones.
You could put Wiccan.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'll say.
You could put Wiccan.
What's like a niche religion? I'll say
Wiccan.
I'll say Zoroastrian. How about that? I'll just be really weird with
What
it.
the fuck is that?
It's the
I
original
think that was
Persian
like
religion.
ancient Persian.
Yeah, ancient
or
Persian,
something?
bro.
There's what's the Mesopotamian one? Where they believe in like Tiamat.
Bro,
Tiamat
all these
that's-
religions.
Okay. We get Gnostic. Well, actually, Zoroastrianism is Gnostic, but I'll just generalize it to be Gnosticism. That includes like some firm forms of Judaism and Christianity and stuff too. So, what else? Yeah, all right. So 8 options. I will roll a d8. I rolled a 3. You're a Christian. The most
Nice.
boring
Couldn't
one.
have seen that coming.
Born again.
Damn. All right, now you gotta roll. Am I like a super high believer that'll be like,
Are you devout? Are you
no. I'll pick that myself. I just need to know if I'm like,
Bro, you're not
God
gonna
is
roll
the
another
only one.
D100 to determine your devoutness?
percentile dice to see how devout to Christ you are?
Well, I'm doing a d4, right? Rolling a 1 is non-practicing. Rolling a 2 is average. Rolling a 3 is devout. And 4 is literally a priest.
How
Actually
convenient.
ordained.
Yeah,
Bro, if
actually
you roll a
ordained.
4, that's too close to home.
I roll a 1. You're non-practicing.
Oh, sick.
Man, an average
So
American.
what you're telling
Yeah.
me is that after, this long 5 minutes of deliberation, Kyle is just your average Joe.
Catholic. Oh my god, the most boring
Just
option.
an average Christian.
Could have been literally a priest of Zoroastrianism. That could have been so much cooler. But no, instead you're literally a non-practical. You're like an average American guy. Well, woman, I guess in this case. So yeah, in that case, yeah, you believe in God, but you've not been to church. Like you only go to church on like Christmas and Easter.
Easter.
Yeah,
Only
and, like,
Easter.
you
Not
know.
even Christmas. It's too long of a mass. No, not even Easter. It's too long of a mass. Only the Christmas one.
Only Christmas mass, and you don't go to confession because who needs that?
Mm-hmm.
And
I sleep perfectly fine at night.
Yeah, like you tell people
Okay,
that you're Catholic, but you aren't really. You
I
only
thought
say
it was
that because
Christian.
people think about. Yeah, well, very very similar things. Catholics are Christians. Christians aren't all Catholics.
Yeah, I'll go to him. I'll be like, nah, I don't know how many Christmas masses you've been to, but, but what you're sprouting right now is not in the Bible. I think. Uh, so,
I think.
as far as I understand, you're just reading some old, like, nonsensical. People were just dying, so they had to have a reason to cope with it. All right. If it's not Catholic, it's not for me. That's all I'm saying.
Can you explain what's going on right now?
I can. It's God's
Oh,
divine
wise
punishment.
Catholic.
Is God divine punishment or something? I don't know. I probably said in
Or
Easter
something.
Mass.
Quote. Or something.
What? I didn't go to Easter Mass, so I don't know that part of the Bible yet.
Did you just join the religion?
Yeah, we was baptized literally like the day before he gets to Denver to Antarctica.
Something like that. I don't know. I went with a friend. They said it was cool. I only went because they have food after the Mass.
Accurate.
Well, either way, there is something else up here that we need to just watch out for.
I mean, yeah, sure. I have hallucinations. I've seen some pretty wacky stuff. I think you saw me get stabbed.
I
I
did
think
see
it's
you get
honestly. I think honestly, it's just a lack of sleep. I think honestly, you're just a
We've
deprived
all been
virgin
going
that
to
you touched my
sleep.
boob.
We've all been going to sleep every night. What do you mean?
I don't know, man. I don't. God or something.
So this is such a Christian move. Disprove anything that's different.
I whisper, that's because I'm an average American. So, anyways, yeah.
As opposed to your average, like, I don't know, Polish person who would stab you for saying that this wasn't God's doing or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Man, you're lucky I'm not Polish or something. I would
It's
have
a good
slapped
thing
you.
you're not. It's a good thing that you're not Orthodox Jewish.
Mm-mm. You won't see me reading the Quran.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
that's so good.
I should have put Amish on the list. That would have been so much funnier.
Non-practicing Amish.
Well, you could have been like, I was raised Amish, but then when that like ceremony came, or the coming of age ritual, I saw like the alcohol and the babes, and I was like, oh hell no, I'm not being Amish anymore, bro. I'm being a normal person.
Oh. This is the best time to eat mac and cheese, man.
Stir
So
that. stir that
wait,
mac and cheese.
is the sergeant just eating mac and cheese in the
Oh, yeah.
archaeology room?
Yeah.
And
After
getting mac
all
and
of
cheese
that,
all over the incredibly ancient, delicate pieces of masonry. Mm-hmm.
like they made it super cheesy, so every time I like dip the fork in, squirt some cheese.
Well, all right. Well, believe what you want. There's something up here, and whether or not you guys believe me does not take any
What religion do you follow?
any what?
I mean, obviously, he's a cultist.
Time
Like,
to break the list
I don't
out.
think he'd be any more apparent.
I'll save you some work, and I'll just say pagan because
Wow.
from Sweden.
I'll turn tonight. I'm like, you see that? No. Because he's not Catholic.
Knight's like, I'm not Catholic either. I'm Anglican. I'm British.
Why'd you go Irish for a second?
It's me, laddie. It's me, Doctor.
It's me, Rory,
Knight.
laddie.
It's me. I'm Anglican. Yay, isn't that right?
It's me, Rory.
Me fellow Brits. Cheerio. Hello, Governor.
Up for the moon into you.
Come out to you, black and tans.
Have some biscuits and tea there. I don't know, something about conquering India, I guess.
This is a reference that only you'll get, Dakota. You like dags? But I mean, believe what you want, man. I can't force you to believe this. So
I mean, Knight's like, well, I don't. If
just take heed.
If every archaeologist that discovered ancient Aztec ruins assumed that the Aztec, actually, wait a minute, and he thinks about the fact that when people discovered the Mayan calendar and it ended in December 2020, people freaked out, and he's like, maybe there is precedent for this sort of thing to happen. I mean, the world didn't end, obviously, but I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
Pretty close. It is currently ending.
Well, it's a decade and a half too late, but I guess the Mayans weren't perfect.
There was a time skip. There was a lack of communication. There was a loss of 10 years on the Mayan calendar.
It's because of a lack of faith in God.
Wow, what a non-practicing Catholic thing to say, Kyle.
Bro, I'm hitting this non-Catholic. Pretty good.
What are you talking about? It's perfectly non-practicing stuff. You see, he's actually been. We have a priest on base. He's been developing his faith, over the course of our stay here.
Oh yeah, it's the backup DMPC if Knight dies. Is the chaplain.
Well, anyway, like I said, believe what you want, but I'm gonna stick to the suspicion that there is something else going on here.
Knight's like, you believe whatever you want to believe, buddy. And the rest of us will be over in the sane booth, conducting business as usual. So.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to conduct some more research on Chippewa, and this possible darkness that could be coming.
What do you mean
And,
that possible? It's the long dark is happening in like 3 days. So
And hmm.
Knight's like, I see no correlation, and I'm not self-aware enough
To a
to
god
understand.
of darkness and the and the possible dark that's coming.
Knight shrugs.
Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna be conducting research. Whatever. I'm out of here. And I'll go back to my quarters and start conducting research on this.
Okay. In that case, you all, well, the rest of you anyway, I guess, go nighty-night. So that's.
I don't gain anything from doing my research.
I mean, is there anything specific?
I'm just gonna go into whatever search engine and search up Chippewa.
Okay, give me a perception check disadvantage.
Alrighty.
Mention I do
I got
one prayer before I sleep.
a 10 and a 9, so take that as you will.
Okay, so you don't find anything on the surface web, but you figure this is something pretty wacky, pretty out there. Maybe there's something on like the deep web or the dark web that I could find that's related to this. You go on to like Tor, and you look up that name, and you find a single site that is 100% like the moon landing was fake. There are aliens in our blood. The reptilians control the oil business, and Big Pharma is run by small ducks. Level of conspiracy theory. But said crackpot conspiracy site also describes this ancient civilization that predates the world and is supposedly like fought against like the Lemurians and like the ancient Aryans and stuff like that, which is probably more crackpot nonsense. But this ancient civilization supposedly lived on Antarctica before Antarctica froze over, and that when the climate changed, their religion changed to be like before their gods were seen as nice and kind, but something happened and the gods turned evil against the people and froze Antarctica over. And that like the people, as they were starving to death and freezing to death and dying, they supposedly sealed one of their gods away, and they exiled the rest of their deities to try and like keep humanity safe and stuff like that. You really don't know what is actually legitimate and what is just, the moon's not real, it's made of cheese sort of deal.
Well, I mean, it's kind of mirroring what I found out, so I mean, I guess this part of it would be, fairly close to what I found.
Yeah, that's what you find out. I mean, the rest of the website's also like, there's this group in Antarctica, and like, if you go to Antarctica and you like, I don't know, howl at the full moon for a full 12-hour cycle or whatever, then you can gain magic powers. And if you, do the Macarena on a cliff in the North Pole at approximately, on the winter solstice or whatever, then Chipahua will come and bless you with his gift of ice powers or something like that.
I don't know if I want to try those out, but either way, what I read at least seems to be consistent. So, all right, I'll print that out. Just that section though.
Not gonna include the moon landing was fake. The moon's made of cheese.
No.
The world is flat.
I'm not including that.
The world is flat. The moon is made of cheese, and the universe is Pluto-centric. All right.
Forgets to cross out where he found it, and the link is attached.
No, I would transfer the text to a separate document.
Wow. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, you could do that. Easily enough done. Anything else before you guys go nappy bye?
Not really.
All right. Then both Xavier and Kyle gain 10 more health. You're up to 60, Xavier, and then Kyle's up to 80. So you all go to bed, and your sleep is disturbed, because there's like a really wicked blizzard kicks up, and it's really loud and violent, and it kind of keeps you guys awake for a while. But you do eventually fall asleep, and you do eventually wake up. What do you guys do?
Well, first things first, I'm gonna go grab some coffee.
All right, you grab some coffee.
And I guess when I go to the kitchen area, I'll check like one of the like you know those the like windows. Yeah, I'll check the window.
Okay. I check the window, and you see that the outside has been entirely flash frozen. I'm talking like the power generator, like the antennas. They've all got like sideways icicles on them from the blizzard. But the ice covers like pretty much any surface that was facing the west, which includes the garage doors to the base. Well, to the garage on the base, and some of the doorways, and it covers some windows and stuff, but you guys aren't, like, your rooms aren't that way, so you wouldn't know that.
Got a very bad feeling about this. But they didn't want to listen, so whatever. Not my problem. I came here, I did my job. Not my concern. So I'll grab my coffee. I'll grab some breakfast, and I'll go back to my room for the day. Until others need me.
Okay. What do the rest of you do?
Wake up. Get some eat and drink. Remember, I have to do sign of the cross. Go back to my viewing station, see if any of the cameras are on.
Okay. None of the cameras are working.
Inside or out? Wait.
Yes.
Okay. I look outside because I remember there was a blizzard, and I'm like, how bad was the blizzard?
It was pretty bad.
Man, pretty bad blizzard. And then I question, how are the lights even still on?
Well, the generator's destroyed, just the outside of it on one side is covered in ice.
Okay. But none of the cameras work whatsoever.
Nope.
To clarify, on the way to the kitchen and the way back, I did pass people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to make sure.
Okay. I meet up with Knight probably. Talk about it. Be like, is the blizzard still going? By the way.
No, it has ended.
Oh. Yeah. I meet up with Knight. I'm like, see, all our cameras are shot.
Knight's like, oh, that's unfortunate. Do you know why?
Did you look outside?
I'm like, yes, but that wouldn't affect are the cameras inside fine?
No. I just thought I had to do something with outside. That's why I was so confused. Like, the lights are still on, but none of the cameras work.
I'm like, well, that means that those two events aren't correlated. That's Something else is wrong with the cameras.
Okay. Then where's any power to the cameras? Like, where's that at?
You're like, well, the cameras, will they be in the camera room? I mean, they usually run off of the same electrical system as the rest of the building does. There isn't like separate connections or anything, or separate generators for each individual section of the base. It's just one big grid.
Then I'm gonna go back to the cameras, reboot the system. Maybe. Yeah, that sounds like a possibly good idea.
You reboot the system, and it still doesn't work. In addition to that, the camera hard drive VCR system sparks and fizzles and begins leaking water when you try to turn it on and off again, or off and on again.
Oh, I quickly I don't know, get something to dry it maybe, take it out, unplug it. I prevent
Put
it
it
from
in a bag of
starting
rice.
Yeah, that
it's
too.
been fried at this point. Yeah. There are also puncture wounds and holes in it and stuff like that in the plastic and stuff.
I call Night over and I'm like, yeah, I think I found out why. He said it's covered in ice, or at least was.
Well, it's leaking water, but you didn't see anything on the outside when you first went in there.
Okay. Then yeah, I go well, I think we have the problem here. But is someone stabbed it and there's also water coming from it.
And Ned looks at it and he's like, well, I would judge by the circular nature of the puncture holes that somebody took an icicle to the machine and the icicle melted. Probably. If I was
Why an
a betting man, well, probably because, well, I don't know if you know this or not, Sergeant, but icicles make for great murder weapons. They don't hold fingerprints, they're very sharp and lethal by nature, and they melt shortly after you use them to kill something.
I remember that.
Didn't hear from me, and then he walks away.
I plot the demise of everyone in the the vicinity now. Okay. Oh, this is pain. Huh. Well, we got no cameras. I suppose now I'd go to Hoffman. Right, that's Xavier's character, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I go, hey, Hoffman. I got a question for you. Do you think you have any spare what did you say was fried? The hard drive?
Well, the wires, the internals, it's you need to replace the entire thing basically. It just wouldn't be worth the time to replace all the individual parts in it.
Never mind. Okay, if that's the case, then now I have to think. Who has access to the camera room?
Anybody with a key card.
Oh, so this is like everyone in the base.
Well, not everybody, but if they have the key card, they can get in.
Alright, what are possible suspects besides myself and Knight?
That'd be it.
This pains me.
Alan?
Okay, I'm assuming these doors aren't really easily, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Forced entry.
Yeah.
No, there are no signs of forced entry.
Okay. I sit in the chair, I think, for a bit. I go, why cameras? It's always cameras. That's why I probably think. Even out loud, I'll say it. Like, why cameras out of everything? Anything that can hold evidence is always gone.
Exactly that reason, because it holds evidence.
Hmm.
Lol.
Thank you, voice in my head.
No problem, anytime.
It was the
Yep.
wheelchair.
I fucking knew it.
No problem.
I still have nothing. I know. I check any of the doors just to see what's working and what's not due to the ice.
Okay. Are you gonna look just at the doors, or gonna check like everything?
I think I'm gonna like tell Knight. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do a see if everything's fine. What about
A
that guy in this
diagnostic check?
silo, by the way?
Okay.
He's probably dead.
You check everything. Some of the doors on the outside, on the western walls, don't work. The garage door that lets out all the big vehicles don't work. You figure out that the internet no longer works. Neither does the phone lines, the satellite phone lines, because the antennas have been frozen and snapped off and stuff like that. They'll take a while to replace. And then additionally, the guy in the cell is definitely dead. You
He's
gotta
definitely
open the door, and he has frozen to death. But he did scribble a bunch of stuff on the walls of the silo before he died. Things like "We should not have come here" and "Darkness is coming" and stuff like that.
I check his body.
Uh, if only I could know
He's-
this information.
He's dead. I don't know what more you want from me.
What? No, like if he had something on his person.
No.
If only I had access to this information.
Yeah, if only, bro. Then I come back. And you go, hey, Knight, you know that guy we totally did not forget to leave. In the storage.
Oh, you mean the kleptomaniac?
Mm-hmm.
What about him?
He died.
Cool.
But he also wrote strange things.
And he's like,
Um,
was it all like, oh, I'm innocent, I didn't do it.
Nah. He wrote stuff like, "Oh, we shouldn't have come here. The darkness is coming."
He's like, well, you know, they say that you hallucinate before you die, so.
Okay. I don't know. I'm a non-believer, man. You know, God's the only one.
God,
At this point,
you and
I'm
Knight, the
just
epitome of
gonna-
rationalization over here.
I'm just gonna sit in my room and meditate.
I don't know. I'd probably tell the others, be like, "Hey, that guy's totally not dead."
Do you come and tell us?
Why would I come and tell you? I'll just text you.
The phone lines are down.
That's right. I can't text you. That's gay. Okay, yeah, sure. I
You
come and
just
tell
said
you.
the phone lines are down. Okay.
Yeah. I was kind of too focused on trying to keep up the back of stupid non-believer.
So he's dead. Who would have guessed?
Oh no, that's not the craziest part. I don't care about that part. The part is what he wrote before he died.
And what did he write?
I forget the name of your character.
Werner.
Werner, yeah, I tell Werner, the darkness is coming. We shouldn't have come here.
Who would have
Chuck of
thought?
luck. Probably no one. It's not like he showed any signs of being a cultist or believing in anything.
Huh. I wonder what he could have meant.
I don't know, probably something strange. You
Definitely not something along the lines of what I tried to warn you guys of yesterday, right?
No, I think honestly, it's like his last dying wish. He's like, oh, if they're gonna find my body, I'll freak them out. That type of
Right,
stuff, petty stuff.
right. Because pleads for help are not the last thought that would go through your mind as you're freezing to death. Or words of warning.
I mean, I don't know. You're a guy trapped in a storage unit. Why
I'd
would you
plead
say
for
we
help
shouldn't
or
be here?
warn others. Seems like two rational ideas.
Yeah, that does seem like a rational idea. I would not want to be in a storage unit either.
Exactly. So, if you were on your last dying breath and you had one chance to do something meaningful with the rest of your life that is currently fading, what would you do?
Definitely check what the hell the storage has. He literally opened up nothing. Like, this guy literally looked as if he gave up in living. He's an actual pussy.
But you're saying you froze to death.
Well, yeah, but he didn't open anything in the storage. He straight up just, I'm gonna write in this cold, cold weather, not to stay in a storage unit, basically. Like, what more do you want from me? I'm not a fucking
I don't know.
philosopher. I'm
I
a
don't know.
security guard, man. I don't get
Man.
paid to think. I get paid to shoot.
All right. Well, I don't know. Go shoot things then.
I can't.
No. Well, then looks like two of us are useless here now, aren't we?
Possibly.
All right then.
And then I go to Hoffman telling the same thing.
Damn. Well, that's a shame, I suppose.
Yeah, it really sucked.
Oh, by the
Strange
way, what did
stuff.
y'all do with that robot?
I think what the interns did, I think they like disassembled it, threw it away, burned some blood. Oh yeah, you weren't conscious for that. Yeah, I forgot to tell you. Apparently, it was excuse me, bleeding human blood. Yeah,
Huh?
Yeah.
straight up from his limbs, just bleeding human blood. I was like, oh, that's kind of a non-robot thing to do.
An obscene amount.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
where did they dispose of it?
I don't know. I wasn't told that. Oh, actually, funny enough, I think if I remember Knight's orders, it was to bury it outside.
No, this is for them to disassemble it and recycle it, and then if they couldn't recycle it, then to bury it, and then to get rid of the blood and burn the blood.
Yeah, that.
Alright, well, where are its pieces?
If they didn't bury it, it's probably wherever the hell they would have recycled it.
Which is what I'm asking you.
I know, that's what I'm trying to hint towards the DM.
You guys don't know that information. Why are you looking at me?
Would he not know the information of where the recycling is?
I mean, he knows where the workshop is.
Okay. Let's go to the workshop together. Now, I wheel him over. Actually, does he even need to be in a wheelchair?
No, he's looking at a neck brace, but he doesn't need the wheelchair, no.
You
While
want the
they're doing
wheelchair?
that, I'm gonna go over by night. See what's going on.
Okay. You try to find Knight. Cut over to Kylan and Xavier. You walk over to the workshop, the garage doors of which are frozen shut. And you guys go inside. There's nobody in here. Lights are on. And you don't see a robot.
Ominous.
I guess I could walk around, see if any of the other interns are engineers know what the hell happened to it.
Okay, give me either a perception check or an intelligence check, depending on which route you wanted to go down.
Both or just one?
One
I
or the
guess
other.
I'll roll int.
Man.
Nat 1. Gotta love it.
You don't find anyone, nor do you figure out where they could have put it.
Damn.
Sick, nasty.
What about moi?
I mean, well, how do you try to find it?
I don't know. I would look for a place that's labeled recycle robot here, recycled trash components here, stuff like that.
Okay, make me a perception check.
All right. Perception 9.
Okay. So you do find a trash bin full of like bent and twisted and broken wires and robot parts that you recognize, like the big battery in its chest, stuff like that. In one of like the big, like, dumpster things near the workshop. You guys do find some engineers, outside and stuff.
Okay. There you go. What did you want to ask them, anyways?
Where the hell the robot is? What else?
This is true.
The engineers say that they don't know where the robot is.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Hey, then I'll ask them, where was the last place you had the robot then?
He's like, well, the interns who brought it in here, they put it on the in the workshop, and then some other guys were like, we'll take it apart, and then they did, and then some other guys were like, we'll bring it in the storage, and that's the last time I saw it.
All right, then let's go. How many storages we got?
Well, there are only so many spare parts storage rooms.
Okay. I'm just making sure I didn't just walk in, find a murder scene, but totally dismissed a robot killing that guy. Okay. If that's the case.
Okay, if you're gonna look around, both of you then can make me another perception check.
Okay. Perception. That's a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
5.
Okay. Well, first, so Xavier, as you guys are walking around the hallways and you're opening closets and you're closing closets, you guys enter one storage room, and behind one of the shelves, you could have sworn that you saw one of those priest guys walking around in the shelving units.
Alright. Guess I'll do a double take.
All right, you do a double take. I mean, from where you are, like, you saw the dude, like, walk behind some boxes and stuff, so.
Alright, well, I guess I'll go walk over then.
All right, You go and walk over, and you find nothing besides more boxes and crates of spare parts and stuff.
Must have been the wind.
Hmm.
God damn it.
And then, Sergeant, while you guys are walking around, you guys happen to pass the elevated skiff that holds the armory, and you're like, maybe somebody would have put it in the armory. So you look in the armory, and you see that literally all the equipment is gone.
Good thing I have my pistol.
Man, I thought I would have noticed that earlier.
Never went and
Logic
looked.
would dictate.
Huh. I
Well,
blink a
that's
few
a
times
doozy.
with my eyes, and I turn to Hoffman. I'm like, "Is this room empty for you too?"
Is it supposed to be that way?
Hoffman, you notice the guns are all gone, but you do see one of the Chapahuan priests who's kind of standing in the far end of the room, looking at you.
I'm gonna go, hey, I'm just gonna point directly at him and go, hey, does that guy have like security access?
Hey, look. Do I see anything?
No, but you do see that there's a shadow where he's pointing, like in the corner of the room.
I go. I like look like I'm gonna draw my gun. And I go. Whoever's there. No.
Oh, just no.
Just no.
Xavier, the guy that you see sinks into the shadow on the floor and disappears when the sergeant says no.
I think you scared him off.
Is his shadow still there?
I mean, the shadow of the wall is still in the room.
Yes, but is the shadow of the silhouette of the guy still there?
That was never there. He was standing in the shadow of the shelving units.
Oh. I don't know. I take a flash. I go, and
Is it a mag light? Please tell me it's a mag light.
it can be whatever you want it to be, baby. All right. You
Ah,
touched my
sick.
boob once.
Sick, nasty.
You shine a flashlight around. You don't see anybody. Nothing happens.
Well, I'll be damned. I'm usually not damned.
But now you are.
But you know what? I think we just got visited by the Holy Spirit. I think that's what they call it, right?
Tongues of fire and all that, right? Tongues of shadow. That's what they said. Tongues of
I don't know.
ice.
I never asked you what you believed in, but regardless, though, that was weird.
It seems like a very biblical interaction, if you ask me.
Guns gone. Wait, do you even see the guns gone? I mean, you never confirmed
Yes,
that.
the
You just
guns
said there
are
was a
actually
guy.
missing.
Oh,
Wait,
sick,
no.
nasty.
Nastily sick.
Yeah, so you guys leave the armory, and you have to like walk outside to get to the rest of the building because the armory is separate from the rest of the compound. So you guys get out of the armory and you start walking across the snow to the compound, the main building, and you notice that it is actually sunset, and there is this pitch black line of shadow that is steadily creeping over the horizon towards the camp. For the first time since you guys have been here, that's happened.
Are they the only ones that noticed this?
No, it is actually sunset.
That's bad. I think.
You think?
I don't know.
Where's the uncertainty coming from?
Are
It's
you
dark.
lacking in faith?
Oh no, it has nothing to do with lacking faith. It's, the sun setting.
Let's see what else here that I want to say. The sun is setting. Our generator should be working.
On the fritz.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we all know that this is when the long dark, right? Is that where the hell it is?
Either the long dark or the longest night is what it's called. 6
Yeah, so
months
either
of straight darkness.
Yeah, so either the long dark or the longest night. So you know,
Man,
do I
it's
know how
almost
bad
like
that is?
people should have listened to me.
I don't. I
Listen to you and
Like-
what? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what more you want from us, man. All
Stop
right?
the earth from turning to prevent sunset.
Like
Yes.
what? It's a natural occurrence here. Next thing you're gonna say, oh, it's almost like people should listen to me. And we woke up. I'm like, how would listening to you change how I wake up, huh?
Yes.
I'm telling you guys, should have done the Macarena, and the sun goddess would have came down, and she would have saved everybody's lives. All right, but now you're all doomed.
You, on the other hand, that's on your fault. I don't know about the Macarena or howling at the moon. All right, that's
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
but who said
But
in their own
maybe
little
if you
cubby?
gave me some more credit to my word,
What would have changed? What would have changed?
everything.
Oh,
You know
really
what?
now?
Everything.
Really now?
You and your
think
false faith.
me and my fault? Oh, look at you declaring that I, a total, fully Catholic person,
Literally an
is-
ordained minister as of last night.
literally an ordained minister. All right? Before the internet cut, I got my online license. All right,
Of course you did.
I'll have you know, I can give us
This can't even be an in character conversation because we're nowhere near each other.
What a great character development, guys.
Oh,
Over the
fuck,
span of a week, Kyle has begun from an unpracticing Catholic to literally a minister. What a powerful
honestly, it was
experience.
just his calling. You hear the voice of God.
Yeah, bro. He's telling him to stab his friends, but hey, God commands, right?
Abraham or something, right?
Abraham or
something.
whatever. I didn't read the Bible.
Wasn't that like what Moses did, or was it Jacob? I don't know. Saul,
Nah,
maybe
whatever.
Solomon, Samuel, one of them.
All I know is I'm gonna call you my son, almost stab you, and you'll probably live.
I'm pretty sure Jesus stabbed that guy,
Probably.
didn't he? Yeah.
He's in heaven now. God has a plan.
Yeah.
Well, that's too
gonna-
real. That's just too real now.
I'm gonna purposely go over to like where John is, or he comes to us looking at a window and have that in character conversation about it. I will do it.
Ah, man. Makes you almost wish that people had listened.
What are you, a prophet or something? Declaring the end of the world? You know,
no,
you,
but
now that I
I'm,
think about it, good old Mr. Fur, could you make me a
Oh, yeah,
perception
that's
check
right.
as you look out the
perception
window?
check.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's right. Wait,
Gotcha.
wasn't you supposed to look for Dr. Knight now that I think about it?
Yeah,
I
I
don't know,
was,
were
but
you?
I probably found you guys along the way.
He was.
That is an 8, good sir.
So you look out the window, and you see, the sergeant and Hoffman, the two bandaged gentlemen, gentleman and gentlewoman, as they're standing outside in the freezing cold. And behind them, on the
Yeah.
horizon, you see an oddly familiar, well, to the audience, oddly familiar, but not to you. You see a ziggurat.
Can I get my stuff on and go out and look while they're out there?
Sure. So you guys are talking all of a sudden. Fur's like, you know what? Hold on. And then he just goes off and grabs his jacket and his snow boots and his pack. And you go back outside, and the ziggurat is still there on the horizon. It is cloaked in shadow. So you see the silhouette of a ziggurat in the pitch black horizon.
I'll put my goggles on and like my mittens and whatever, and I'm gonna try and walk over to it.
Okay. Do you inform the others of the ziggurat in the distance, or
I'll tell them that I see a ziggurat. I don't know if they see the ziggurat, but I'm telling them that I see it.
do the rest of you look to see what he's talking about?
Sure, I'll see if he's going insane or
Well,
not.
no, because the sergeant told me that she saw a ziggurat, right?
No, you see your own cigarette.
No,
no,
but
because
like
you,
when we
Kyle,
were
saw
on
a
the first
ziggurat.
Oh,
expedition.
that before? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys know about that.
Yes.
Yeah, I
You
was gonna
told us,
actually,
right?
I was gonna, yeah, I was gonna actually gonna, yes, I was actually gonna say about that. I'm like, did I know about a ziggurat before?
Know
Yeah,
about
you were the
one?
one
Yeah,
that
you the one that.
saw it.
Yeah, you were the one that saw it. Well, you hallucinated one, the first time.
I'll see if anybody else sees it. Yeah.
I mean, if the two of you look, there is a ziggurat in the distance. It's very reflective.
Oh,
Well,
I
might
need to
as
put my
well.
sunglasses on.
Lamau.
I'll take the trek over to it.
Okay. Do the rest of you follow, or
Sure.
okay, Hoffman? Do you follow?
I guess I got nothing better to do.
Great. So you all start marching off towards the ziggurat, and you guys walk for probably like an hour before you get even remotely close to it. Eventually, you guys see. First of all, it is made of ice. You gather that much. Secondly, it seems to be split down the middle, more or less, by the line of shadow as it is approaching. Third of all, you can see a bunch of people around and on top of it. Or at least like the silhouettes of people around and on top of it.
He's gonna say it again. Watch.
Am I the only one seeing the people?
Nope, you're all seeing the people.
Okay. Can I like take out a pair of binoculars and get a better look from afar?
Sure, give me a perception check.
All right. A9 on the bean roll.
So you can see on top of the ziggurat, the very top, is Dr. Knight, and he is gesticulating with his arms. There is a familiar looking dagger in his hand. And sending to either of his flanks are the two Chipahuan priests that were previously declared deceased and frozen in ice for millennia.
Guys, you're not gonna believe this.
The next words out of your mouth is an "I see Jesus." I'm not believing you.
It's night.
Well, yeah, no shit. It's night. It's about to come. Like,
No. I mean, Knight is standing on the pillar with the knife.
Well, yeah, bro, it's the ziggurat's cut between night and day, bro. Of course, there's night on top of the ziggurat. What do you mean? It's shadow there too.
Just fucking look for yourself.
Night comes back to life just to say that.
Yeah, he's like, "Hello, gentlemen. What are you talking about? I'm not there. I'm down here."
Oh no, just looking for you, dude. What do you see?
I'll toss the binoculars to the sergeant, and I'll start like walking faster as I draw my pistol.
What is your pistol gonna fucking do?
I don't know. I can shoot Knight though.
Shoot the ziggurat.
I can shoot the ziggurat. You're right.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna look. What do I see?
Perception check.
Okay. I kind of hope I fail and just be like, I think you're just fucking hallucinating.
Well,
Must have been the wind.
I'm already walking towards the ziggurat, so.
What a mighty draft this night and day thing causes, huh, gentlemen?
Yes. I got a 6 though.
Yeah, you see the ziggurat, you see the two Chipawan priests, and then sitting between them, you see Hoffman.
And I turn and look, and it's Hoffman next to me.
Yeah.
And you go, And I go, hey Hoffman, when'd you learn how to?
By
Be in
locate.
2 places at once.
Yeah. And then
It's just a simple trick. You see, by the laws of quantum mechanics, and I go on a 10-hour rant.
all right. Then I don't know. I hand it to Hoffman. Like, you see yourself hanging up there?
Well, do I, DM?
You look through the binoculars, and you see. You look through the binoculars, and you see.
I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
And you see the two Chipahan priests at the very top, and then in the middle is the medical android.
So what?
The medical robot. He's standing there with the dagger in his hand, and he's also gesticulating to the people on the bottom.
I'm like, Fido, you've returned to me.
Lassie, it's you.
I'm like,
Lassie,
all right, we gotta head
where
up
are the
there.
kids
You
in
know,
the
I
well?
got some business to take care of.
All right,
I'm
let's
gonna
go, boys.
maintain that robot so good.
Get down here, robot. You don't give me one more chance to screw in your nuts and bolts. I swear to God.
What an awfully Texan German man you are.
You know, bro.
It's like
yeah.
the German guy from Saving Private Ryan, where they have him like dig the graves and everything.
The guy that sings the national anthem, but like.
Yeah, but it's just oh
butchers
say
it.
can you see?
Over and over and over again. Yeah. So
I love America.
you guys walk closer to the ziggurat, and then you guys get within like 100 yards. You see that there's like a dozen or so people, all of whom you recognize from the base, and they're all carrying guns. And I'm talking like shotguns, assault rifles, SMGs, a couple of rocket launchers on their backs, and they are all prostrating themselves before the ziggurat, at the top of which is the Tuchipahuan guys, and insert your personal interpretation of big bad evil guy here. And yeah, there's like an altar on the top of the ziggurat. There's like a bunch of carvings in it. It's made of ice. As you guys get closer, you'll see that there's like this giant swirling sphere of shadow that's in the center of the ziggurat, made of ice. It's pretty ominous.
So I'm willing to assume that they catch up to me at some point.
I mean, yeah.
I'll turn to them and be like, "Well, do you believe me now?"
No.
Well, I was hoping for a little bit more seriousness, but okay.
But what do you mean a little bit more seriousness? You went on about a fucking cult of a god freezing. All I see is a fucking ziggurat and dead people. Where's the
I
freezing?
will admit, this is kind of weird, but you know, all I see is that I have business to finish.
Again, I was hoping for a little more seriousness, but all right. I'm gonna raise my pistol and take a shot at the ziggurat.
Okay, and it's literally like hitting a barn with a pistol. Even from this
bad feeling
distance, you
about
could
that.
still do it. So you fire off a shot with your 9mm, with your Glock 33, and you think you hit the ziggurat. But you can't really tell because you're really far away. But everybody at the ziggurat turns over their shoulders, and all the other people, they raise their rifles, their laws, or their pistols, their SMGs or shotguns, and they look at all of you 100 meters away, and the two Chipatlan guys look at you guys as well, and they kind of glare at you, and the person in the middle, who you all now see as just Knight, it is just him now, with the dagger in his hand, and he sees you all guys, and he tries to like yell something at you guys, but you can't hear him because you're so far away still. Yeah.
I'll start advancing as I holster the pistol, so I can hear what he's saying.
Okay. So you start to get closer, and as you start to get closer, make me a sanity check.
Okay. That is a nat 10.
Cool. Let me go and find your character kit. Dr. Werner, your sanity is now 7. It's got a 10, so it's +2.
Nice. I have steeled my resolve.
You have indeed. So that's that. I need to find a good sheet. So you get closer, and you hear that he is chanting something in a strange language that sounds vaguely like Aztec, but you don't really know what it is.
As soon as I get within earshot, okay. Personal question for the DM: would this be an okay time for me to reveal my purpose here, since Dr. Knight is in clear violation of some very plain to see things?
If you mean your boss is a cultist, yes, that I think would be good enough reason.
Okay, I'll yell out at the top of my lungs just about, Dr. Knight, you are in clear violation of UN laws. Get down from the pillar now.
He just keeps on chanting, and he waves the dagger around, and then the Chipahuan priests, they join in the chanting, and then the crowd begins to join in the chanting, and the ground begins to shake.
I'm gonna start running towards him as I draw the pistol and fire a shot at him.
Okay. You can make that perception check. The rest of you can make me sanity checks, as you can all now hear the chanting in your heads.
That is an 8, good sir.
All right. Let's see. This would be, I'll say 50 yards away. That would be 150 feet. That's extreme range. Let me get my range bands.
Oh shit! I got a 10 too.
Dang. You're also sane. That's the opposite of this campaign is supposed to do. Come on, guys.
Xavier's gonna
I
get
mean,
a
I'll
1.
be your mandate code. I got a 4.
Ah, great.
Oh no!
Thank you, Xavier. Now you have only a 4 sanity instead of a 5. One more failure like that, and you'll be clinically insane.
Am I rolling damage on this, or?
I need to figure out the difficulty of firing from 50 yards away with a pistol.
I'd say.
Well run.
Ranged combat. Here we go. Effective range. 150 feet is long range, technically. So.
What is my range? You said 50 feet, right?
For a pistol, it
Or
would
not 50
be
feet, 50 yards.
Yeah, for a pistol, the
I got an 8
maximum
on my
range
roll.
that you could shoot at, if you took a disadvantage to shoot it at, would be 60 feet. So you are not in range of your pistol to be able to hit Knight from this distance, basically.
So I just whiffed a shot?
Yeah, you did.
Alright, well, time to get closer still.
Alrighty, you need to get basically like up to the crowd of chanting armed cultists in order to actually shoot him. You figure.
How far away am I?
50 yards currently.
Ah, sick. Alright, well, time to keep going.
Okay, what do the rest of you do?
I mean, I guess.
I think only 2 people here have a gun.
Yeah. Me and Sergeant.
I guess I will just approach because I have nothing better to do.
Well, you could go
Sure.
back to the base.
With this right in front of me, would my sanity drop to 1 point just now?
With a robot to stab? I think not.
Now we're about to fix, you mean?
Are you really gonna fix it though?
You saying I can't?
No. I'm just saying, don't you want to
challenge,
disassemble it?
Doctor?
Wouldn't you want to
Maybe I'll have
disassemble
to
it?
disassemble you.
And it's no longer the robot. It's Dr. Knight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
I'm
Xavier
very
still,
aware.
Hoffman just assumes that the robot's somewhere else now.
It's the
This has
robot
become-
is under the guise of Dr. Knight.
Yeah, if you go insane now, Hoffman, I'm gonna make this your obsession. You use the robot everywhere you go.
You get
Honestly, I'd be
Robo
cool with that.
PTSD.
Rest of the campaign is it fighting like zombies in like Mexico, and you're like, it's the medical android. He's behind everything. I swear.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead 2 mod. All zombies are
Medical
manifest.
robots.
Bro, somebody make that mod. I'll play it on stream.
We become our actual characters.
Yeah, bro.
God, if I became my actual character, I'd actually be the only woman in the group.
You'd have fat tits.
Currently, only Werner is felt.
This is true.
Ah, this is my moment, my payback. His back is turned.
Just draws Glock, unloads. Like, GM, I would like to use the unloading mechanic and pump an entire magazine into Werner's spine. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll approach 2. And I guess I shoot. I got nothing better to do, you know?
Again, you are too far away to shoot this man.
Well, no, I mean, you know,
Then how did I nail the ziggurat?
Because the
It's
ziggurat's like
ziggurat.
25 yards by 25 yards. It's huge.
He said earlier it's like shooting a barn house. There's no way you're gonna miss it.
Fair enough.
Unless, I don't know, you're stupid or something. But
I'll pop another round into the ziggurat. as
yeah,
I'm running.
I'll just walk closer. You know, or run, walk, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, you shoot the ziggurat again. The ground begins shaking more vigorously. As you see that there are now like a bunch of huge cracks in the ziggurat that are spreading up the top of it, like up from the bottom to the top of it.
Is this from my doing?
You can't tell.
Ugh, sick. All right. Well, I'll try. I'll keep trying to get closer.
Okay.
I can't imagine that my shooting of the ziggurat is helping any. So, might as well delay that.
All right. So you keep running, and as you get closer, you see that like the big ball of shadow that is in the middle of the ziggurat is now kind of like freaking out. It's kind of like glitching around and like warping, like in its spot, and it's like fidgeting and wibbling and wobbling, and the ziggurat's cracking some more, and then the big black sphere of shadow and darkness kind of like shoots into the ground. And the ground begins to shake even more vigorously. And then there's this big line of shadow shoots from the sphere into the sky, up through the middle of the ziggurat, and the sky darkens even more than it already is. And at this point, you guys would reach the point in the ground where it is dark, like where the actual like nighttime is happening, and you guys cross that threshold, and immediately you can no longer see anything. It is literally pitch black all of a sudden.
Can I back out?
Yeah, sure. You take a few steps backwards, and nothing happens, and you keep taking steps backwards, and nothing happens, and you go for probably, you would assume, like 50 feet. And then you're back out of the shadow, but you now see that the like the line of darkness, like the sun is now setting far faster than it should be. Is my point.
This is a problem. Can I think back to my notes? Because the research that I did not produce a name for the sun goddess, correct?
No, it did not.
You just need to Macarena, bro.
Fortunate.
Just do the Macarena. But this, you would make the pretty obvious connection. Ziggurat with Shadow in the center of it. You guys
They are freeing. They are freeing the god of
they are
darkness.
freeing the god in the temple. Now, you guys are still like a 4.5 hour walk away from, well, probably more than like a 6 hour walk from the temple site. So you don't know how this correlates to there, but you would imagine that it does in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, you all see that the sun is now setting, like, it's sitting at a very quick pace. You need to probably, like, sprint to avoid the shadow at this point.
All right. Well, let's get going, because if we don't, we're not going to survive. So I'm gonna start running towards the others and urge them to start running back towards the base, because at least there we have a chance at survival.
Okay. So the other two of you see Hoffman, Fuhrer run towards you guys. He crosses into the shadow, into the darkness, and he disappears. Because basically, he like runs through, and for a second you guys can still see him, and then there's kind of like, I mean, John gets this reference, but it's a lot like walking into, Shadow and Bone, walking into the huge storm,
okay.
shadow storm. It's
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
Like, you just kind of like disappear after a second, and after then the shadow begins like racing forwards towards the two of you, and then Fuhrer comes sprinting out of the darkness at breakneck speed, and of course Werner can't see this, but the other two of you can. There are like tendrils and tentacles of darkness that are like growing out of the wall of shadow that are trying to like grab at him, but he's running just a little bit too fast, so they can't quite wrap around his arm or his leg or his neck or his torso or anything. And this line is now probably like 25 meters away from you guys. It is coming at you fast, and see there are now like, have you ever seen how like centipedes move with their legs like super quickly skittering along the ground?
Yeah.
Well, there are 10 tentacles of darkness that are pulling the line of shadow, like thousands of these all across the horizon. These tentacles that are like falling out of the darkness, and, like slapping down into the snow, and then like dragging the wall forward at this breakneck speed. And then Fuhrer reaches you guys, and he's like, "Turn around, we're leaving." How do the two of you react?
Man, this was not in the Bible.
No shit. Now run.
Yeah, I'll definitely run at
Currently
that.
running.
I'm gonna turn to the other two and I'll tell them there's a UN freighter on the way. If we can hold out until they get here, we should be all right.
Well, you know that like you guys are several miles away from the coastline. The ship meets you guys at the coastline to pick up supplies. So, if you wanted to get to
the UN forces that I called in.
you told them to be on standby. You never told them to like get here.
I told them to get there, and they said it would take 6 weeks. I said I need reinforcements at this base. They said 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You did, by the way.
So there are no soldiers that are on. Well, no extra soldiers on this boat. It's just the boat. The boat that does not know anything is wrong, because that would breach confidentiality. So, yeah, if you're gonna escape, you gotta
breach
make it to the actual
confidentiality?
of your mission. The boat captain can't know while you're there. So, as far as the boat captain knows, to your knowledge, he is on his way to the Antarctic to conduct a routine supply drop-off. So if you guys want to get away from Antarctica off of that boat, you gotta get to the coast.
Are we running in the right direction?
Yes. You are running
Okay.
north, and that is the right direction.
Okay, so my theory is if we can beat the shadow to the compound, get the snow crawler out in time, then we could, in theory, take the snow crawler to the shoreline. Because if we keep running, we're not going to survive. Because we're going to get tired, worn out, and we're gonna die, basically.
I mean, that's a great idea and all, but if I remember correctly, the garage doors are frozen shut.
And we have guns. So, how do y'all want to do this? Do you want to keep walking, or do you want to at least try to get the snow crawler out of the garage in time while we can sprint now to the facility? Or do you want to keep sprinting towards the coastline, which is going to be at least a 2 to 3 day sprint, but we're going to get tired and we're going to have to walk it, in which time the darkness could catch up to us.
I mean,
We
honestly,
can take a gamble,
I don't mind gambling for this snow crawler because either way, it sounds like we're dying. So
but at least with the snow crawler, we have a chance. If we can make it back in enough time, we can get the snow crawler out by shooting the ice off the center of the door and the hinges, assuming that both of us are a good enough shot and we get it up and running fast enough.
yeah,
We can get the snow crawler out, get a head start on the dark before it gets to us, and we can get to the coastline.
yeah, I don't mind taking a shot at that if I'm being honest.
Well, all right then. Xavier, are you with us?
I mean, I don't think I have a better option, to be honest, so yes.
Well, all right then. Snow crawler it is. Let's get the.
If I'm seeing
start
that garage, by
hauling
the
ass.
way, I'm shooting it because let's be honest, we can't thaw that ice out. So
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys sprint towards the compound again. And you guys are sprinting towards it, and you weren't that far away. You were like a few hundred yards away, 100 yards away. And you guys make it to within 50 yards of the compound, where the ground begins to shake again, and the main building begins collapsing into the ice. Like the ice breaks apart, and the building just
And
begins sinking. The garage
Is
is
the
still
garage a separate building?
Yeah, the garage is a
that's,
separate building.
that's why I said
Okay,
a good
good.
thing the garage isn't there. All right, yeah, if anything, then like clear. Oh, what? Okay, now hear me out. This is just me thinking in hope. But what if that caused the ice on the garage to shatter?
That is a good point.
But if you to
Or
assume
at
that
least loosen up.
the god of ice can't control ice.
All right, listen here. Right, it's a ziggurat with a doctor on top of it. As far as I know, there is no god.
Well, yeah, but there is, so.
Yeah, but I don't know that, right?
Yeah, but that
His
doesn't mean
faith
that
is
that,
his shield.
that just because you don't believe it doesn't. This isn't K2, all right? Your belief doesn't affect the world.
What are you talking about? I'm a devout
My
follower
faith
of God.
is my shield.
Yes, my faith is my shield, brother.
All right, then go ahead and
Brother.
have a gander into that darkness, and we'll see how long you survive. How about that?
Brother, I am pinned here.
No, I saw that. Anyways, yeah. So let's go to the garage. Ooh.
So you guys keep
Alright.
sprinting to the garage as the base begins, continues to kind of keep falling into the hallways snap, and like the steel bending sound is horrible and it's really loud. You don't see anybody else, even though you knew that there were people here when you left, which is kind of creepy. You guys make it to the garage. The doors are
Alright.
covered in ice.
Alright.
Well,
I'm
the
gonna
main door.
turn to
Anyway.
the
You can still get
sergeant.
inside. But
Start shooting the center of the door. If we can get a hold on the center of the door, I'll start shooting at the hinges on the sides.
Bang bang.
okay.
Bang bang.
I would say that it takes an entire magazine of ammo.
That's fine.
But you guys do manage to clear what you feel is enough enough of it away.
Ice
anyway.
for like it to open up.
Well, you figure you could probably like ram through it at this point.
All right, yeah,
It's a very
let's give it
thick
a
door.
shot. Are we making strength checks for this?
I mean, no, the human doors are fine. The
okay.
vehicle doors that are frozen.
Okay.
You
All
guys
right,
can
well,
get inside. You know
yep.
where the keys are. The ice crawlers, you've seen Knight take them and stuff and use them multiple times. You guys get into the ice crawler, and I assume you guys just barrel through.
Yeah.
Action movie ish esque. Punch through the ice frozen door that's shattered, and start driving.
So I'll get into
Yeah.
the driver's seat and I'll like try to turn the key. Does it like sputter at first?
Yeah, it sputters at first, and you know, like actually, I think you put the key in the keyhole and it sputters at first, and you're like, oh, what the heck? And you try to like turn the key again, and this jet of cold water shoots out of the keyhole, and it like forces your arm away, and you're like, oh, that is the exact opposite of good, and the jet of water stops, and then you see from the far end of the garage, the wall is consumed by this wall of darkness. Like, it just kind of like phases through it, and you're like, oh, that's not very nice. So you jam the key back in the keyhole, and you turn the key again and again and again. Make me a luck check.
Oh, please don't forsake me.
Come on, John.
It's down to this. Nat 10, baby.
Oh.
You jam the key in the keyhole, and you turn the key in the keyhole, and the keyhole turns, and the vehicle roars to life, and you slam on the gas pedal, and as you kind of like turn the key in the keyhole, and you look at the door, you see the two. Well, I guess you see like an image of the two Chipotwan priests standing there, and they're both like holding their hands out at you, and as kind of like a halt motion. You just slam the gas pedal to the metal, and they're as the vehicle comes into contact with their illusions, their forms turn into shadow and kind of like wisp and like fog away, and then you immediately slam into the big metal door, ice covered door, and you guys barrel right through it. You tear the door off its hinges, basically. Don't even go through, you just tear off the chains, and eventually it kind of falls off and falls away. And you guys just begin booking it away from the wall, I assume, and from the rest of the compound. As you guys drive away, you keep driving north towards the coastline, and you all look in the rearview mirror, look out the back window as the rest of the base sinks into the ice, and then is immediately covered by the wall of shadow that is now going just as fast as you guys are in your vehicle. It has sped up considerably, almost as if it's
But we're
trying
still
to catch
keeping
you.
a fair pace ahead of it, right?
Yeah, you're still like 25 yards away, 30 yards away from it, as it is booking towards you. And you guys are speeding away as this wall of darkness is, keep on its chasing after you, and you guys go for a 2-hour-ish drive, speeding all the way. It's a very bumpy ride. You guys are jumping over snow banks, and you guys are being battered around. After like 10 minutes of driving, a horrible blizzard kicks up. A supernaturally strong blizzard kicks up, and it begins to like flash freeze the treads of the vehicle. You get slowed down by that, but you're still going. The vehicle's still functioning. It's meant for this kind of condition. And you're all, it gets to the point where like the car's insulation doesn't keep you all comfortably warm anymore. That's how
we don't need to be comfortable. We need to be alive.
Yeah, you're all like, you can see your breaths and stuff in this heated vehicle as the temperature outside, like the reader on the car, just keeps going down. It's steadily in like the negative double digits at this point.
Well, we're all still bundled up, so
yeah, you're all still fine, and you all make it, and you guys can see the coastline. You can see the coast, and you can see off in the horizon where the boat is, and you're like, oh my god, guys, we're there. we're there. We're like 100 yards away, and then you get
And
50
then-
yards away, and then the coastline begins to grow as more ice is made from the ocean, and the snow and ice cover just begins to like grow in front of you guys as you guys approach it, kind of like one of those weird like infinite hallway things, you know.
I'm gonna keep my hand on the steering wheel, but I'm gonna grab my backpack and hand it to the sergeant, and I'm gonna say, take a flare out, and pop a flare and hold it out the window so that the tanker knows where we are.
Sure.
If our resident engineer would like to do the same, he can.
Okay, it's up to
All right.
resident engineer. You guys do that, and as you're holding out the flares out of the windows, your faces are being battered, your arms being frozen. Your hands go numb almost instantaneously from the cold. Your hands are being cut open by the ice shards and stuff in the air. Not any damage from it,
Well,
but it hurts.
are they barehanded?
Probably not, but it doesn't matter. Like this is actually
Oh.
like shards of ice are impacting against you guys and the vehicle. You guys also see, although visibility is very low, walking behind the vehicle, and I don't know, even if you're going like 70 miles per hour, this guy is walking behind the vehicle. There is a strikingly handsome, very pale guy with super bright, pure white hair, wearing only a loincloth, some basic sandals, some like gold like bands and like armbands, bracelets, and you know dangly bits and jangly bits, loincloth sandals, and this kind of like crown made of black like obsidian like stone or ice or something like that. He is walking probably like 15 feet behind the vehicle, with his hands behind his back, just kind of casually walking after you guys, with a smile on his face.
I'm gonna call out the window, Chippewa. We are protected by her. You have no sway over us.
And with that, the guy disappears. He just kind of pops and turns into shadow and smoke and fades away. And then you guys feel this very, very, very cold presence in the seat next to Hoffman. In the back. We're in the back row.
I frown. I say, you really had to provoke him, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Nah, you definitely didn't.
And of course you all look at where the cold presence is, and he is sitting there with his leg crossed over the other, super chill, literally, which was not an intended pun, but it's a good pun nonetheless. And he is sitting there, in the vehicle with you guys, and he's like, mortals, and he's like, you cannot fool me with your empty threats. I know she is no longer on this world. She's been gone for as long as I have been sealed away.
So then why are you trying to kill us?
He's like, I'm not trying to kill you. If I was, you'd be like those other Russian guys. You'd be popsicles by now.
Answer, and I'm like, is this where we converge faith?
He looks at you and he squints and he's like, you know,
I don't know, I'm still not used to this priest thing.
he's like, I can assure you, warrior, that whatever god you believe in is in fact not real. Since I assume you aren't a cultist of mine or of any of my other kin.
Okay.
I mean, you know, prove me
Well,
wrong,
then
but
why are? Well, I mean, I kind of can't. You know, I kind of only go to. We'll leave that conversation for another day. Why are you here?
he's like, I am here because there needs to be someone left alive to tell the story, of course,
Of like what?
of my glorious return. What else?
I don't know. Like the few X amount of people you maybe killed.
Like, oh, they're not
I don't know.
deceased. They are simply under my authority. I have many millennia to catch up on, of course, to rebuild my lovely civilization. It's been a long time.
Well, look at it this way: if you only leave one of us, no one will believe us.
Oh no,
Like-
someone will. I got a license for that.
Ah!
Like, well, I mean, I suppose I could only leave 2 of you alive.
I mean, I don't want to be saying something, but you know.
But why
Oh.
not all 3?
Like, well, I suppose it depends on, you know, how I'm feeling at the moment. And all this entire time, you guys have not been getting closer to the ship. Like, it isn't even that the ice looks to be growing, but you get the feeling that you're now trapped in like a spatial loop. Yeah. Where you're driving,
Okay.
but you aren't actually like getting any closer to the ship.
I turned to. Oh God, sorry. I turned to him. I go, all right, then how are you feeling? I mean, did you just wake up, or
Like, oh, wake up!
you
No,
know,
I've
like
been
how-
conscious the entire time. Just that I've only now I'm able to stretch my legs, you know, clench my fists, bite down on some lovely, lovely snow. Tasty water.
you like snow?
I mean,
I'm the god of
I mean,
ice.
look at it this way: we also did nothing to impede your imprisonment.
You're like, no, I did not. And although I would assume, seeing as I am also, well, I doubt you came across this in your research, but I'm also one of the deities of host nations and mind control and psionics and stuff.
Bro, are you telling me I lost sleep for nothing, man?
I'm going to stop driving in the event that I am actually very quickly nearing the coast, and we could eventually dive into the water.
Okay, so you stop.
I'm going to stop the crawler now,
The wall of shadow does stop.
in hopes that you will negotiate with us.
Well, I turned to him. I'm like, okay. Well, you said it depends how you're feeling, and as far as I understand, you didn't kill anyone.
Well, I did definitely kill those Russian guys.
Controlling them.
No, I
Okay,
killed the
well, those
Russians.
Russian
But fair
guys-
enough,
And
they're
I
Russian.
killed that guy in
Well,
the silo
yeah,
too.
you know,
By the way, that was also me. Well, it wasn't me, but it was me. It was one of my servants.
It was the
I'm-
cult. It was the cult.
it definitely wasn't you. Like,
It was someone
know-
related to you, so it's your kill by proxy.
Yes, exactly. As are the Russians, I'm afraid. I'm only, well, I'm not technically even fully free right now. This is all an illusion in your minds. You're actually
Wait,
being
so-
controlled by
what-
my actual servants that were in the
So
temple the
let me
entire
get
time.
this straight. So,
You said the wall of shadow stops, right?
Yes.
Okay.
so what you're saying right now is we're having a conversation with a god that is still trapped in wherever he is, and he's currently walking out of where he currently is, but speaking through us because he has that kind of power. And now you're trying to make a demand, debate, whatever you want to call it, with us because you want someone to tell you to tell the people of your coming instead of having your followers say it for you.
I'm like, well, my followers need to stay here and help me rebuild my glorious empire. I can't do that by my, well, I guess I could do by myself. That's not fun by myself.
So
And-
Are you
and
saying
you
that
are
we're just
correct.
supposed-
I am not entirely freed, although the ritual you all saw before was simply the influenced of my children freeing their masters, who will in turn free me. Just that the darkness
this
gives
is a
me
whole
strength.
giant. This is a whole giant process. Just to, bro, how tall are you that you got to have like a whole place collapse and then other people like what sealed you, bro? Like, huh?
Flex seal, probably.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of stuff about that on the
A mortal named Phil Swift.
The god turns to Werner and he's like, you know who sealed me away, even if you may not know
of
her name.
Her, I don't know of her name.
You're like, Good, good. My priests followed my bidding when they wrote down my history on those walls. I'm glad. In any case,
But why did she seal you away?
well, I'm not exactly I wasn't exactly considered the most benevolent of deities.
Okay, then what were you considered?
They're god of destruction, to be specific. Because I
Yeah, but
destroyed
Okay.
them.
what's so? Yeah, but like, what's so bad about being the god of destruction? Like, do you just get bad rap because like destruction is part of your name or something? Did you do something, or someone just woke up and said you're the god of destruction? We don't like you now. Like, what?
Like, no,
was it?
they don't like me because I destroyed them.
Okay, then why'd you destroy them?
Because they insulted me.
Okay, then how they insult you?
They chose to worship my counterpart instead of me.
So,
Okay, I have an idea.
okay, what's your idea?
There are people that believe in you.
They're definitely crazy though. Probably.
I beg to differ, seeing as we're talking to a deity right now. So, how's this? We'll spread your word. We'll get people to come up to the Arctic that believe in you. And in turn, you leave humanity.
Huh?
Because as of right now, humanity is going through a bit of a pickle. So, we can get you more followers, but you let us live, we tell your tale, and you leave humanity alone for the time.
He's like, well, I have no intention of leaving anybody alone, but I suppose I have business to attend to here on my home continent, and I have no plans to expand beyond these borders, at least in terms of physically speaking, until the time as such I deem this land sufficiently reconstructed. Like, but your other terms, I suppose, could be amiable to my ultimate goals. And he leans in towards you, and he looks very, very deeply into your eyes, and you see that his eyes are like very, very light, quote unquote icy blue, you know.
I see. You know, this god of ice.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at him through the rear view, by the way.
Well, he's looking at your eyes through the back of your head, and he's like, "Are you? Well, these terms, I suppose, as I say, could be amiable. I suppose they could work with some minor tweaks. But my question is, are you going to be the one to accept my gift?"
And what would that be?
Oh, you'll have to find out now, won't you?
I turned to Hoffman and I'm like, you see that? He asked a god a question. That's crazy.
I'm gonna like side eye the sergeant. Like, what should I do here?
I'm like, why are you asking me? Oh, I don't believe in God.
I don't believe in your god. That's the difference.
Then what God do you believe in? Because right now we're talking to a god.
I believe
And-
in my gods, but
Oh, you're gonna say that in front? Wow, look.
how do
see
you know
this
he's
guy?
not one of my gods?
Because obviously you're not referring to him. Now are you? And he said he got mad because people were worshiping other people that weren't him. Ha!
Yes, but he's already disproved all of our gods.
And you still say you believe in another god?
Chief
You see
Poway
this
turns
remote
over
follower
to
over here?
turns to Hoffman, and he's like, "Do they do this often?"
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I didn't realize until we got here, but it feels like it's been forever, you know?
And he's like, "Ah, yes, I see that people have grown more argumentative since I last dealt with mortals."
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you think this is argumentative? Bro, you haven't seen gender politics.
He raises an eyebrow and he's like, "You mean the women?"
Yeah, basically.
He's like, he kind of like does like a kind of like frowns, but it's kind of like, but not like a sad frown, but more of like a who'd have thunk it, that kind of an expression.
Woman got into politics.
And he's like, "Look, I do not care for your mortal squabbles or your nonsensical and useless, might I add, religious debates. Okay, because if you were to know the truth, you would instantly go insane. So there'd be no even no, it wouldn't even be a point in me explaining it to you, because that minute look into the reality of things would shatter your minds like ceramic on tile floors. So save me the wasted effort and my precious time, because I have many millennia to make up for. And just answer my question. Somebody. Is one of you going to accept my gift or not?"
I mean, if you guys don't, I got nothing to do. I haven't had a present in like, I forgot how old my character is. Let's say like 34 in like 25 years. So yeah, sure.
So is that you accepting the gift?
I mean, I don't mind. I got nothing better to do. I turned to him like, so I'll just ask it later.
He's like, "Are you sure you wish to accept my gift? I will assure you it does come with a certain price."
I mean, I got nothing better. I mean, look, man, you just like wasted whatever time I took on an online thing to get a priest card, unless it's still valid in your religion. But as far as I know, I gotta get a new card of teaching. So
He's like, "By accepting my gift and reaching the required rank and power within my organization, you automatically become a priest."
Oh!
So, like,
hell yeah!
do you want me to bring my two companions here? I can have the actual priests arrive, and they can discuss things with you if you so wished.
I mean, yeah, sure. Might as well talk to the priest. I'm pretty sure as a god of yourself, you're like, I don't need to worry about priestly laws or whatnot. I don't know if you care about that.
And the Chifa was like, "I must say that they don't speak English. That may..."
That's gonna be a problem.
Yes, that may be an issue. They are, of course, technically still mortal. So, yeah.
Is the blizzard still going on outside?
No, actually, it has stopped. Instead,
Okay.
the ice is suddenly hanging in midair, floating, and ever so slightly
Actually, we're
turning
in
around.
midair?
No, you guys are not in midair. You're still on the ground, but the ice and the snowstorm has stopped, and all the snow is in the ice is just floating there, frozen, kind of slowly twirling around.
Actually, I turned to off and I'm like, I mean, unless you want it, like I said, if you guys don't want it, I'll take it, He said one of us, and
I think I'm good. If you want it, you can have it.
I turned to Hoffman like, you want something?
Hoffman's still got some healing to do, so hey, maybe he's gonna heal you.
But what if I can heal him? Oh,
That is
At this
true.
point, I think I'm baffled and confused, and I shrug and I say I have no conception of what's going on. I'm going to go with the flow.
Sick.
This
the guy's
is
like,
beyond me.
The guy's like,
I stopped
"Wow."
understanding things when the robot tried to stab me.
Joe's like, "Oh
If
yes,
you're
I
just
am."
stabbing the robot, then I'm interested.
You're like, I am sorry about that incident. My servants got a bit uppity, and they believed that you all were trying to interfere with their operation and their plan. But obviously, it was fruitless anyway. So, on that behalf, I apologize. But, that attitude of not understanding things is just what I look for in my employees. So, isn't that convenient?
The door's always open.
Oh, what do you know? You got like 2 devout followers and like a questioning one. As I point to, I forgot what his name
Can
is.
you just get out of the crawler? Discuss
What?
these terms.
What? What? We can't discuss it in front of you? You embarrassed to have your
I'm contemplating life right now.
wow content? Look, man. All right, I stopped contemplating life the moment I got sent this job assignment. All right.
Well, good for you. Okay.
Chifa was like, I mean, you can step out for a moment, but I can read your mind as long as you're on the continent, so it won't really do any difference.
Oh, Oh, I can have mental chess with you wherever. Man, this guy looking
Pawn
really good right
B4.
now.
Pawn to B4.
Oh yeah.
B4.
Oh yeah.
Bishop
This,
to G3.
if I was insane right now, I don't know if it'd be a better experience. But
Look,
hell
can we
yeah,
just
I'll take that
can we just
gift.
get on with this? I wanna
Well,
go
yeah.
home.
So you're not going home.
Oh my god.
I was like,
yeah.
so yes, have you all? Is there a consensus here?
Yeah, I'll take that gift. How do you pronounce your name again? I think this is the first time I ever heard your name.
Papua.
Make me a sanity
Chihuahua?
check as he tries to say part of his true name, and
Oh,
actually, all of you
God.
need to make me sanity checks.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, for
Because
fuck's sake. Thanks.
he
Thanks,
says his real
Kyle.
name in his actual language, and it threatens to drive you all mad.
I got.
Wow, this might
It's
actually
not.
force me to be on his side then.
Yeah.
If I fail this check, I think I just become
Mm-hmm. You automatically
not
get the gift.
NPC.
Yeah. You don't become an NPC, but you get his gift automatically.
Oh,
That is a 9.
I got.
Ooh.
Okay.
I am unswayed.
10.
Oh, shit.
What did you get,
I am
Kyle?
also unswayed.
I got an 8.
Wow, you all
Hey.
passed. See now,
Does my insanity go up?
your sanity is now an 8, same as John's, and Xavier's is now 6.
Hey. Hey,
Let's
buddy,
go,
welcome to the
bro.
club.
So he
Welcome
says
to
he's
being
actually part of his
sane.
real name, and it feels like you get like horrible brain
Nails on a
freeze for a
chalkboard?
second. There's like brain freeze, and you're like,
Oh.
and he's like, oh, you meant my mortal name? Yes, very good. Yes, I am Chipahua. That is my name.
Chihuahua. I am Chihuahua.
I am Chipahua. Hello, it's me.
I am Chihuahua, the
Mm.
most powerful of the guys.
I am freezer of men, killer of
I
light.
am the daughter of the cosmos.
I'll
See, that's
do your
Chipahua.
taxes for you.
So I was wondering.
You get it, John?
So I guess that I'm a follower of you now. Yeah, that's what we're calling this. Sure.
I think you are the one who wishes
I
to
know it's been, like-
accept the gift.
Yeah. I was wondering though, since you missed like however long you've been asleep, does your religion have tax write-offs?
He blinks and he's like, in approximately 2.5 years, there will be no more IRS to begin with. So,
Oh, let's go. Those taxes, they're getting.
I don't think the IRS is a thing right now.
I mean, there's technically 2 IRSs because the US is in civil war. So, even worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So yes, Trevor was like, so, are you going to be the one then, Sergeant, or should I bless
Yes.
you somebody else with my most precious of presents?
Yeah, I'll take the gift.
Like, all right. Well then, I suppose you can say goodbye to your friends.
Okay.
And he gestures. Say goodbye to your friends.
I blink to the edge. I'm like, all right. That it?
Trevor's like, well, is that your goodbye? I figured it would be a little bit more, I don't know, comprehensive.
Like, sappy or something? I don't know. Like, bye. Like, huh? And we've been working together. I guess like through the experiences we bonded, and like 5 more minutes of non-spiel friendship dialogue, and I go, yeah, bye, you two. Hoffman. I hope that wheelchair gets to you. I hope it's okay. It's probably frozen now, and I hope you fix that robot. I'll find it for you, man. I'll bring it to you. And then I turned to John's character, who I always forget the name of. It's probably funny.
Warner.
Warner, yes. I go, Warner, I still hate you for touching my boob.
Fair enough.
Fur was like, that was very funny. I will have you on though. I found that very entertaining.
Good to know.
I'm like, all right, well, with those anticlimactic goodbyes out of the way, and he double claps his hands, and Werner and Hoffman are both immediately flash frozen. And I was like, well, isn't that just a lovely way to wrap all of this up? Well, I am very glad that you chose my present. So yes, here you are, and he places his palm on your forehead, and you immediately receive visions of this grand civilization and of Chihuahua's true form, which is like weird, like prismatic, shifting, darkness, swirly, fog, geometric shape, formless but also forming, contorting and ever moving, and infinitely expensive, but also you can see it all in its entirety. It's really cosmic horror, you know. Humans are worthless and meaningless and yada yada yada. Your sanity drops to 3, and you gain magic.
Oh.
And that is what the gift is. So you are now, I mean, you aren't technically a priest yet, but you could become a priest eventually. And he's like, well, isn't that lovely? And he's like, now, if you don't have any further questions or concerns or comments, I'll be on my way and you can be on your ship. Yes?
Yeah, I don't think I got anything now. I mean, you say you can read my mind like whenever, so I'll like call you from time to time. I don't know. Is there like
He's
a prayer
that
I
isn't
gotta
how,
do?
that isn't, yes, there are rituals involved.
I might need like a book on that. Probably.
He's like, I communicate through dreams.
So I gotta sleep a lot. I see. All right. Pleasure doing business with you. Yeah. I guess that's it.
He's like, we shall be in touch. And then he like phases, like his physical form like turns into shadow and kind of falls into the ground, into the car, and in his place is the limp body of the medical android. It's still broken and parts of it are missing, but he was puppeting the android body. That's the whole joke. Would have been an epic plot twist if Xavier were still alive, but alas, he's not.
I fucking knew it. Gave him the gift. We'd have been so happy.
And then time begins to move again. The blizzard like whips back up instantly and then immediately dies away. The wall of shadow doesn't move, but it also isn't absorbing you anymore. And then you also find yourself in the crawler, like on the beach of Antarctica, with the icebreaker ship only like 50 yards away pulling in, and your arm is still holding the flare, by the way. You teleported basically, and you're like, interesting. And your friends are still there. So now I need both Fur and Hoffman to make me mercy rolls to see if you actually did survive the experience with the deity or not.
All right. Sick nasty. 19.
Definitely is a pass. You are alive.
Just barely?
Yeah, I'll explain that in a moment.
Ah, sick.
Cool. Well, what I got was predictable.
1.
Not quite, but it was what I got on the last mercy roll, so I'm not too surprised.
4. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
So, Fur, you remember Nothing. Well, you remember, running from something. You remember running from the setting sun, but you don't remember anything supernatural about the entirety of the past week. Well, that's not true. You remember, like the weird temple, and you remember like the weird stuff that happened there, but you don't remember the ziggurat. You don't remember the wall of darkness. You don't remember seeing the god. You don't remember the discussion with him. None of it. And additionally, Hoffman is in the backseat next to the limp body of the semi-recycled medical android. But he is like white as a sheet, and there's like the same as the Russians were basically. Like he's like there's ice coming out of his eyes and his nose and his ears and his mouth and stuff like that. He appears to be very dead.
So wait, I'm not frozen?
Nope, you are totally fine. But your memory has been partially erased.
That sucks. Oh well. Alright, I'll get out of the crawler and pop a flare myself.
Okay. Yeah. So you do so.
Wait,
and-
do I still have the printed out sheet?
Yes. And you remember that part. You don't remember. You just don't remember. Like basically, you remember the first 6 days of the expedition. Well, of the campaign, but you don't remember the previous day. The day where you guys saw the ziggurat, and you went to the ziggurat, and then you ran from the ziggurat, and then you got here. That part you don't remember.
I remember like the hallucinations and everything.
Yeah, you remember the hallucinations. You remember the weird temple place. You remember. You also has a vague understanding that the base is destroyed, but you don't know why you know that. You just do.
Okay. Alright, yeah, I'll get out and pop a flare and run to the shoreline.
Okay. Yeah. So the icebreaker ship pulls up, and there are the captain and stuff is there, and the crew, and they put the gangplank down and stuff as they land, and the sailor's like, isn't there usually there's usually more vehicles here and stuff? Where's everybody else?
I'll look to the sergeant, because I don't know what happened.
So we got hit with a really bad storm, and it's like, you know how sometimes the sheets will crack and all that? But we were caught in a storm and an earthquake, and now we're here.
The sailor's like, so you're telling me that the base is destroyed?
I turn around. Can I even see the base?
Not from here, no. Plus, you did watch it sink into the ground. But you do also notice that the weird wall of darkness is now gone, and it is just normal nighttime now. Like it is progressing as it should normally. There's no more like super fast darkness coming after you.
The base is definitely destroyed, though, right?
Yes, for sure.
And I go, yeah.
And the sailor's like, oh,
Yeah, it was pretty a big disaster.
and like, and are you guys the only survivors? Do we need to get a search and rescue team out there, or?
There might be others. Their survivability, probably not a lot, but we probably need to get the bodies there, have them get sent to families or something. But as far as I understanding, if you survive that, you're screaming in pain right now.
Now we cut to Hoffman in the weird ice realm where he is screaming in agony. And we hard cut back. The sailor's like, well, you should probably let the captain know this information. We only need to know this now. And then him and the other crew members begin ushering you all onto the boat as the camera pulls back from you all, and we fade to black.
Well, a very interesting end to that. If everybody liked it, let us know. You know what's happening by now. I sure as hell don't. I don't remember anything. Thank you all for joining us on Quest for the Core, and we'll see you next time.